Respected dignitaries, my dear participants, a very good evening to one and all present here. Myself, Dr. Shilpa B.S., Associate Professor, Department of Civil Engineering, VVCE, signing in as Master of Ceremony of the Day. On behalf of our institution and our department, I would like to extend a warm and hearty welcome to you all for the second day of the online training program on futuristic research in disaster resilience. Today, we have sessions from two eminent speakers. Session 1, we have Dr. P. Vedagiri, Professor, IIT Mumbai. He will be talking on proactive traffic safety evaluation using surrogate safety measures. In session 2, we have Dr. Chandan Ghosh, Professor, NIDM, Government of India, New Delhi, who will be talking on IoT devices for disaster management. So with this, now I request Mr. Manoj P., Assistant Professor, Department of Civil Engineering, VVCE, to welcome the gathering and to introduce our first session speaker, Dr. P. Vedagiri, to the august audience. Over to you, Manoj.
Thank you, madam. Good evening. Thanks to each and every one of you for being here with us today. I'm very pleased to welcome everyone present on the occasion of the third lecture of online training program on futuristic research in disaster resilience, being organized by Vidyavardhaka College of Engineering, Mysuru, and National Institute of Disaster Management, Ministry of Home Affairs, Government of India, New Delhi. First of all, I have a pleasure in welcoming the eminent researcher, a great teacher, and today's speaker, Dr. P. Vedagiri, for this occasion. Welcome to you, sir. I also welcome Professor Chandan Ghosh of NIDM, National Institute of Disaster Management, New Delhi, Dr. S.K. Prasad, Head of the Department, Department of Civil Engineering, VVC, Dr. H.S. Dayananda, Dean Academics Affairs, Dr. Umesha P.K., Professor Kanmani S.S. and Professor Raghavendra S.S., Coordinators, Research Studio, Department of Civil Engineering, VVCE. I take this opportunity to welcome guests, all my colleagues and students. Most important for any activity is the participants. I know all of you have come together in large number to listen to Dr. P. Vedagiri sir. I wholeheartedly welcome you all. I welcome each and everyone. I have a pleasant duty to perform, that is to introduce Dr. P. Vedagiri sir to all of you. He doesn't need any introduction. And I also have cut short stating many of his achievements. Dr. P. Vedagiri sir is working as Professor in Transportation System Engineering Group, Department of Civil Engineering, IIT Bombay, Mumbai. He has obtained his Bachelor of Engineering in Civil Engineering from College of Engineering, Guindy, Anna University, Chennai in the year 2002. Master of Engineering in Transportation Engineering from College of Engineering, Guindy, Anna University, Chennai in the year 2004. And PhD in Transportation Engineering from IIT Madras, Chennai in the year 2009. His areas of interest are in traffic safety, mixed traffic flow modeling and simulation, traffic monitoring, management and control, traffic facility design and evaluation, traffic impact assessment, pedestrian flow modeling and facility design, and also road safety audit, public transit system design and operations. Dr. P. Vedagiri is in teaching profession since July 2004 till date. He has over 50 publications in international journals, over 90 publications in national and international journals, one book on planning for priority for public transport, providing exclusive bus lanes on roads carrying heterogeneous traffic, and one book chapter. He has received Professor S.P. Sukatame Award for Excellence in Teaching for the year 2020, IIT Bombay Award for Excellence in Teaching at IIT Bombay for the year 2017. He also obtained IIT Bombay Young Investigator Award in the year 2013. He has guided 2 postdocs and one is ongoing. and has guided 8 PhDs, which are completed and 7 are ongoing. I deem it an honor to present you to the audience for delivering the first lecture of second day of the online program on futuristic research in disaster resilience. Over to you, sir. Thank you.
Good evening to all of you.
Sir.
Thank you, Manoj, for your excellent introduction. First, I would like to thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity to interact with all researchers and professionals working in this important area. So, as already informed, so in today's talk, I'll be focusing more on the traffic safety evaluation. As we all know, the current traffic safety situation in our country. So, how do we overcome the safety related issues, particularly the road safety, and with various advanced methods and approaches, how we can proactively act and enhance the safety, overall safety in traffic infrastructure. So that is a broad idea of this presentation. In this presentation, first I'll be talking about the various objectives of road transport infrastructure. And then, since the participants are from different background, so I would like to emphasize and highlight the global as well as Indian crash statistics. So what are the actual crash data we have, where we are in our country with reference to the global scenario? And then this road safety is actually the involvement of three major elements. One is the vehicles, and then the infrastructure, that is road, and then the actual road users, either drivers or pedestrians. So the complicated interaction among all these three elements are highly influenced by the road user and their behavior. I will highlight certain important risk factor which leads to a major road crash. And then as a new approach, how proactively we can evaluate traffic safety at various traffic facilities. And I am going to introduce a new concept, surrogate safety measures and their application towards traffic safety evaluation. And to demonstrate the SSM, the surrogate safety measures, to evaluate safety of signalized intersections. So this is a piece of research work, what we have done. I will share with all the participants. And then talking more on the practices. The another important proactive measure, which is called road safety audit. So what are all the basic principles and procedures involved in road safety audit? And I'm also going to share some of the field observations, case studies with reference to road safety audit. And at the end, I'll conclude how the various research works, what we have done, can be lead to the best practices in the field in such a way that we can enhance safety of road transport system. So this is a broad outline of my presentation. And this slide gives you the major objectives of road transport infrastructure. There are 6 broad objectives we have. When we talk about any road transport infrastructure, so we should ensure that are we fulfilling all these 6 broad objectives. One is the safety. The infrastructure should ensure safety to all the road users. And the second one is the road user expectation. Everyone prefer a shorter travel time. So the speed should be desirable or it should be higher in such a way that they can complete their journey or travel within a short span of time. Comfort the road users generally expect comfort in terms of the infrastructure, in terms of the vehicle, and then the overall the characteristics of the travel. The convenience, the transport facility, the infrastructure should be very convenient for the users. If you see the accessibility parameter, it should be easy for them to access the transport infrastructure and then achieve their priority or the activity as convenient as possible. And then the overall economy, so there the individual road users economy as well as the facility creation, how much we are going to invest for transport infrastructure development and operation. And in general, the infrastructure should be environmental friendly and it should lead to sustainable transportation system. So these 6 are the important objectives of road transport infrastructure. So these aspects are very clear how they are going to fulfill the requirements of the road user, the facility developer, and the facility operator. Then the complexity here, what generally we face is the conflicting nature of objectives. It is very difficult to achieve all the 6 objectives to 100%. So the conflicting nature of objectives leads to complexity in transport infrastructure development. To explain this nature of the conflicting nature of the objectives, so let us take 2 important parameters. So one is speed and another one is the convenience. We want to achieve 100% convenience in terms of accessibility. So everyone should easily access the facility. The speed is the lesser travel time and higher or desired speed limit. If you take the road facilities broadly classified as local streets, collectors, and urban arterials. If you see the urban environment, you may see the local streets at the residential areas, collectors, and then major urban roads, which are called urban arterials. If you provide accessibility, that means all the roadside developments, they all can easily enter into the urban arterial. If you provide easy access, then obviously many road users will be joining through various controlled or uncontrolled intersections. Then their entry and exit from the mainstream will affect the overall speed of the particular facility. So if you increase the accessibility shown in this shaded portion, if you increase the accessibility, then the mobility, that is nothing but speed, is getting decreased. Or if you control the access, only if you provide at spacing of every 3 kilometer or 2 kilometer, the controlled access through intersections, then you can enhance the mobility, that is speed, but you are going to restrict the accessibility. For better understanding, if you take the express highways, we will not allow vehicles to enter at upgrade. So the vehicles may enter or exit from the expressways through ramps or interchanges. So in that case, we are not allowing the vehicles to enter at any point of time at grade. So then we are restricting the accessibility so that we are achieving more on the speed or mobility. Once if you reduce the speed by providing more access, then that becomes a kind of typical urban road, a local streets or arterials. And if you increase the speed, then there are more possibility of getting into the fatal accidents. The speed and then safety. And if you provide a very wide, convenient, comfort facility, then users will go for higher speeds, and that may leads to unsafe interaction with other road users. So in that way, it is very clear that we have a very clear set of objectives for road transport infrastructure, but they are conflicting with each other. So in that case, the transportation planner or the traffic engineer supposed to see the actual functioning of that particular facility, whether it is an expressway, whether it is a local streets or an urban street. So we have to understand the basic requirement or functioning of that particular road infrastructure. And accordingly, the higher weightage will be given to various objectives or the indicators what we have to consider for facility development. But at any cost, among all 6 objectives, the safety is the primary objective. So we have to consider 100% safety aspects in creating or developing any road transport infrastructure. So the safety is the primary objectives. Now I'll just quickly highlight the global road crash statistics. So as per the global status report, 1.35 million deaths in each year are recorded, and the first leading cause of death for the age group of 5 to 29 years is nothing but the road crash. 3 times higher death rates in low income countries when compared to high income countries. And the 8th leading cause of death for human beings with reference to all age groups. So these are the important numbers which we have to consider when we talk about the global road safety situation. So this slide shows you the comparison of reported road traffic deaths of 4 different countries, including India, Germany, Japan, China. If you see the deaths per 1 lakh population, so that is shown in y-axis, and then the corresponding year, the time period is shown in x-axis. And if you see the trend of Germany in terms of deaths, that means we are talking about the fatal accidents, the fatal road crash per 1 lakh of population from 2007 to 2016. The kind of declining trend with various safety remedial measures, safety related policies in terms of enhancing road user behavior, in terms of enforcement, in terms of infrastructure management. Similarly, if you see the trend of Japan from 2007 to 2016, as well as China from 2006 to 2015. So the trends are completely declining, and with well-established safety protocol measures and policies, they could able to reverse the trend and they could able to decline the overall road traffic deaths. In the similar period, the 2007 to 2016 comparison, if you see the deaths per 1 lakh population, the road traffic deaths, if you see the trend in our country, so this is a situation where we are from 2011 to 2016. So we have to work effectively and then try to change the trend like other countries what they have done. So it gives a clear message that it is possible with the proper way of executing the traffic improvement measures, safety improvement measures, and then the very good policies, we can also reverse and then decline the road traffic deaths in our country. And the previous slide, I stopped only up to 2016, but here you see the trend shown for 17, 18, and 19. So here this the blue color line shows the total number of road crashes in terms of thousands, and then road accident deaths are shown here, and then the road injuries, the minor and major injuries are shown in green color. So here somehow we are just trying to reduce the kind of number of accidents to some extent, but the overall trend seems to be a little bit unstable. It is not increasing, it is not decreasing much. So this shows the importance of the proactive safety measures to bring down this trend in the future. The declining trend we have to achieve in another couple of years. So that is our target. And in terms of numbers, if you see the last 5 years of road accidents, the total number of road accidents in 2015, 5 lakhs something, and then 2019, it is 4.49 lakhs. And if you see the number of persons killed, in 2015, 1.46 lakhs, and 2019, 1.51 lakhs. So out of 4.5 lakhs of total number of road accidents reported in the year 2019 in our country, 1.5 lakh are the fatal accident. The persons lost their lives due to road crash. The percentage change in terms of total number of accidents and the percentage change in terms of fatal accidents, a slight increasing and decreasing trend, but we have to work efficiently to bring this percentage change in a drastically reducing nature. And to give the another analogy of the global scenario and our country's scenario, 1% of world vehicles, if you consider the vehicle population in the world, 1% of world vehicles we have in our country, which leads to 11% of global death in road accidents. Highest in the world, according to the World Bank report. So, among all the countries, we are number 1 in terms of total number of road crashes. And then if you see the road user category involved in various road crashes, again, I'm just comparing 3 different countries. Germany, if you see, 36% of the road users are four-wheeled vehicles, motorized four-wheel vehicles. Pedestrians 15%, cyclists 12%, and 2 and 3-wheeler riders are 19%. The proportion of vehicles, the vehicle types are relatively very less when compared to the mixed traffic scenario what we have in our country. But based on the recorded total number of accidents, the road user category proportions are shown here. Similarly, if you see the four-wheeled motorized vehicles 24% in Japan, and then pedestrians 35% and cyclists 15%. Since these countries have significant number of cycle trips, either for the kind of the recreational or the physical activity exercise or the work purpose or any other purpose, so they have the significant proportion of cyclists on their roads. If you see United States of America, 15% of pedestrians and 47% of four-wheeled cars. And obviously the three-wheelers and two-wheelers are relatively less proportion, and they are contributing 14% of road crashes. So the total number of road crashes and then the corresponding road users. If the total number itself relatively less when compared to our country, the proportions are shown in this slide. And if you see the similar kind of comparison, road user category for our country in the year 2019, you see 35.2%, whereas in other countries, it's very close to 10 to 15%, the motorized two-wheeler and three-wheeler. So here in our country, very close to 35% of the road users are motorized two-wheelers, and then auto rickshaws 6%, car, jeep, van 24%, and then buses 6.6%. If you see the kind of bicycle the facility and users relatively less than 1%. So this is the way we have multiple number of vehicles with diverse vehicle dynamics, with diverse behavioral aspects. So our facilities are much complicated when compared to other developed countries, the traffic scenario. And this slide clearly highlight the number of vulnerable road users involved in road fatalities. The vulnerable road users generally we call pedestrians, bicyclists, and two-wheeler users. So as I mentioned, in the total number of crashes reported, the fatalities reported in 2019 is total 1.5 lakhs fatality, out of which 56% are two-wheelers, 4,000 something are cyclists, and 25,858 are pedestrians. So this clearly shows the road user category involved in more number of crashes in our country are particularly the vulnerable road users like pedestrian, bicyclist, and two-wheeler users. As we mentioned earlier, very close to 35% of the road users are two-wheelers involved in road fatalities. And this table also shows the age-wise comparison. Initially, in one of the slides, I have shown 5 to 29 age group at global level involved in more number of road crashes. But if you see the Indian statistics relating to road crash, 33,000 are 18 to 25 age group, 39,000 are 25 to 35, and 32,000 are 35 to 45, and then 45 to 60 age group, we have 22,000. So in that way, all the age groups, since they are traveling for various other purposes, they all are equally involved in different kind of road crashes. And by knowing these statistics, now I will move on to the road user behavior and risk factors. The diversity nature of road users. As I mentioned earlier, the facility what we are creating will be used by different vehicle users, the bicycle user, and then pedestrians, heavy vehicle users, and so on. At the same time, each individual driver or road user, they have their own driving behavior or walking behavior. To explain this, I'll give you two kind of examples. The 18-year-old car driver or two-wheeler driver, one might be a very careful driver and another one might be an aggressive driver. The facility what we are going to create should take care of all these kind of drivers. And another kind of car driver, one might be having 15 years of driving experience who regularly obey the traffic signs and rules. And another one is a just 1 year experienced driver who doesn't familiar with various traffic rules and regulations. And then these kind of variation we could see among the drivers. So the taking care of these diversity behaviors in the facility is another challenging task for traffic facility developers. And then I would like to highlight the important risk factors. Once we clearly understand the causes for road crashes and then the risk factors, then we can get more clarity of preventive measures. So in this understanding, I'll be highlighting a couple of important risk factors. The first and foremost risk factor is speeding. Even though we have a regularized speed limit at various facilities, many times the drivers will not follow the speed limit. The overspeeding is one of the major risk factor for road traffic injury. And then the speeding is highly proportional to the severity of the road crash. If the speeding is less and the person is involved in the road crash, the severity of the crash may be minimal. If the speeding is very high, then the severity also will be very high. So the speed is one of the important risk factor which is contributing very heavily on the severity of the road crash. And second risk factor is lack of restraint system. The many four-wheeler users and then heavy vehicle users may not wear proper seat belt. So that is the another risk factor, lack of restraint system. That is also going to influence the possibility of fatality and then the various other lead factors to fatality. Lack of helmet use, drunken driving, use of mobile phone while driving, and distractions, roadside distractions. These all are the major risk factors for road traffic injury. And I'll show you one of the recent video clip. I hope you could able to see this video clip. So here when pedestrian is crossing, even though it is not a kind of very high traffic road facility, because of the distraction with the mobile phone and then the kind of two-wheeler user and then pedestrian conflict we could see. So this is the kind of the impact of mobile phones for the pedestrian and other road users and leading to one of the major risk factors for road crash. And then, as I mentioned, the lack of restraint system, wearing seat belt and wearing helmet. So in this context, IIT Bombay, in collaboration with Johns Hopkins University, Baltimore, USA, we have done a continuous monitoring, road user risk factor monitoring study at Mumbai. In the year 2015, we did the multiple rounds of observation. In the year 2015, the number of the bikers or the proportion of two-wheeler users wearing the helmets are only in 68%. And then with a lot of the kind of training enforcement measures, in the year 2018, we could achieve 92% of compliance. 92% of the two-wheeler users in Mumbai city could able to wear the helmets. But here another important factor which we observed during this important monitoring study is the many two-wheeler users, even though they wear the helmet, they have not properly strapped their helmet. There is a helmet, but it is not properly considered or properly strapped in such a way that even though helmet is there, but that is not going to help the road user if they involve in the road crash. So this observation we brought it, and then enforcement measures were revised in such a way that looking for properly wearing the helmet. The similar scenario, the fastening of seat belt strap. So that also we have seen with the increase in percentage of users, particularly the four-wheeler users, relating to the seat belt usage. And another important factor what we noticed relating to two-wheeler users as well as the car users, the seatbelt usage of the other co-travelers are almost nil. The helmet usage of pillion riders is also almost nil for the last 3-4 years. So we need more kind of regulative and enforcement measures in such a way that the pillion riders as well as the co-travelers are also using the appropriate constraint measures. And this is another important, the physical characteristics of the road driver. I'm not sure how many road users they aware that a driver sitting in this particular truck or any heavy vehicles would not see any of the people standing in this yellow strips. By considering the seat position and then the driver physical vision related characteristics, the driver will not able to see the pedestrians or the road users standing in this yellow color strip. So this is actually the blind spot for the driver. So the road users should understand, and accordingly they should take the crossing decision if they are very close to the heavy vehicles. So this blind spot is very important to ensure the safe interaction between the other road users as well as the heavy vehicles. Similarly, the interaction between two-wheeler and then the truck. The two-wheeler user may assume that the truck driver has already noticed. But if the driver it's very difficult for him to see if the two-wheeler driver is in this yellow markings. So this blind spot concept should be very clear for the road users so that these interactions will happen in the safe manner. And another important factor, risk factor, is drunken driving. So the person, when he normally drives on the road, there is a time required for any situations to take appropriate decision. That is perception, interpretation, evaluation, and volition. So this is PIEV process and PIEV time. So if the normal person and then the drunken driving person, the various studies clearly shows that during drunken driving status, they take 4 to 5 decisions at a time if there is a kind of any interaction with other road user or any fixed objectives. But this decision making processing time, the PIEV processing time, is very high if the person is in the condition of drunken drive. And then the brain-eye coordination about the kind of constraint or the distraction or the fixed object usually delayed by 20 to 30%. The risk-taking tendency increases, and then the blurred vision, the vision capabilities reduced up to 25%. So as shown in this figure. Blurred vision they used to get. So it is difficult to identify exactly whether it is a moving object or a fixed object. So all these factors are important risk factors which we generally consider. So these all are focusing more on the road user behavioral related risk factors. So this also we have to consider when we want to enhance the safety of various traffic facilities. And then now I will move on to the proactive traffic safety evaluation. So generally what we do in the past several decades, we usually collect the road crash data through various agencies. And based on this crash data, we analyze what are all the causes and what are all the remedial measures. And then we try to execute those remedial measures and enhance the safety of various facilities. But this is a kind of reactive traffic safety evaluation. We are waiting for the accidents to occur, and based on the actual incidents, we are trying to understand and we are trying to improve. But by considering the kind of road traffic crashes and then the numbers what we have, now this is a time to think for proactive traffic safety evaluation. So many times the crash data generally collected by different agencies may not be in the similar pattern, in a similar standard, and it may not be very useful for very extensive research studies, and then identifying the actual causes, and then identifying a suitable safety improvement measures. And also, it's unethical to wait for accidents to occur. So that is the reason we look for proactive approaches. With reference to proactive approaches, I'll be discussing two important aspects. One is in terms of research, how do we effectively consider the surrogate safety measures and do proactive research? And another one is a road safety audit, which is also one of the important proactive measures to identify the traffic safety situation and to improve the traffic safety situation. So these all are the two broad proactive approach related measures that we are going to discuss in the following slides. And the concept of surrogacy. Surrogacy means substitute. Instead of this, we'll be using something else, substitute. The surrogate measures are well known, are very popular in medical science. If we want to assess the healthy human being, the healthy nature of the human being, in medical science, they consider some of the surrogate safety measures. body mass index, the heart functioning, and then the problems, if any, in the human heart. They consider the indicator called the cholesterol level in the blood. So in the medical science, what they are doing, instead of the actual observation, they conduct various tests or various kind of the indicators they use, which indirectly talks about the performance of the human heart or the healthy nature of human being. So in this concept, they have various surrogate safety indicators to assess various disease and various working functions of the human being. The same concept was applied in traffic safety. We need a similar kind of surrogate safety indicators. If you see this right side video, so there is a conflict. This is a very good uncontrolled intersection, the conflict between the two-wheeler user and then the car driver. So to evaluate these incidences before the actual crash, we need a similar kind of surrogate safety measures to assess the safety in proactive manner before these incidents occur. Once if you have the kind of surrogate safety measures for traffic safety evaluation, then we can do a similar kind of activity here. So in this case, instead of waiting for actual crashes as shown in Hayden safety pyramid, we are considering the near accident situations, the interactions close to near accident of various facilities. If the near accident situations are very high, the conflicts occurred in a dangerous way, then those incidents recorded or reported by a particular facility need to be identified and need to be worked in detail to observe or to propose various safety improvement measures. So in the surrogate safety measure, we are trying to understand the measurable or observable non-crash event. We are not waiting for the crash. The interaction or event which are close to crash that we are trying to identify. To explain this, the surrogate safety measure, to understand the requirement, there are various issues and challenges. It is not a very straightforward case what I have shown in the medical science. So here, the interaction among various road users, and we don't have very clear indicators like the cholesterol level or body mass index. So what should be the similar indicator for various traffic facilities? In terms of intersections, either controlled or uncontrolled intersections, in terms of mid-block sections, in terms of express highways and various facilities. And also we have to consider whether we can consider only one indicator or multiple number of indicators. And once if you know the surrogate safety measure, which will be suitable for traffic safety evaluation at traffic facilities, how do we get the data? How do we understand which interactions are critical and which interactions are non-critical by considering the non-lane based mixed traffic scenario what we have in Indian cities. So these are all the challenges we have to face, and to some extent we have handled or tackled all these kind of strategies. So this is a generic surrogate safety framework. We have identified various set of road network in different cities, and we collected the required roadway traffic control and geometric characteristics, and the data was collected and extracted to different measures. I'll tell you how the field data was collected for this kind of surrogate safety studies. And as I mentioned, we have different surrogate safety indicator: pedestrian safety margin, deceleration rate, time to collision, conflicting speed, post encroachment time. So like this, we have various indicators, like how I mentioned for medical science, cholesterol level or body mass index. So we have identified as suitable indicators for different facilities, traffic facilities, and we could able to identify the conflicts which are critical and which are non-critical. If a particular facility is having high proportion of critical conflicts, then immediately we have to give top priority and we have to identify the remedial measures, and then we have to execute in such a way that we can reduce the accidents at that particular spot. So here, to give you an example of surrogate safety indicator, I have shown one measure which is called PET, post encroachment time, is one of the surrogate safety measure used for safety evaluation at unsignalized intersections. So these are the path followed by two vehicles at the uncontrolled intersection. So one is the through vehicle path shown here, and then the crossing vehicle path shown here. Time is shown in x-axis, and then space or distance is shown in y-axis. So the post encroachment time is at a particular point, space, the through vehicle is crossing at time T5, and then the crossing vehicle is crossing at time T3. So the time gap between these two is nothing but post encroachment time. Let me explain with the help of this animation. So this is a typical uncontrolled intersection. So we have the intersection area. This rectangular box with the numbers is nothing but your intersection area. There are two vehicles crossing this intersection, blue color vehicle and then red color vehicle. I am trying to explain what is post encroachment time here. So the blue color car leaves the conflict zone 5 at time T1, and then red color car enters the conflict zone 5 at time T2. The time gap between these two vehicles at a particular conflict zone is nothing but post encroachment time. If the post encroachment time is high, say for example 15 seconds, then that interaction is a safe interaction. If the post encroachment time is 0, then that is nothing but an actual crash. If the post encroachment time is 2 seconds, somehow they have escaped from the accident, but these are all very close to accident. So that is what we are trying to identify. So if you have the real-time monitoring of various facilities and see how many percentage of vehicles are having a very critical conflict with less PET time, that tells us the safety of the particular facility. If a particular intersection is having 30% of critical conflict, and then another intersection is having 60% of the critical conflict, based on this proactive evaluation, once we improve the safety aspects on these two intersections, then we can minimize the expected future road crashes. So that is the way we apply the post encroachment time to evaluate the safety at unsignalized intersections. So similarly, we have the indicators for pedestrian mid-block crossings, unsignalized intersections, roundabout intersections, and signalized intersections. And generally, we use the videographic technique for field data collection. You can identify the suitable vantage point and then collect the actual driving behavior or the vehicle movements from the field. In recent days, we are using the unmanned aerial vehicle, that is drone, for this kind of data collection, because we have to accurately extract the surrogate safety measures like post encroachment time, time to collision, and then the conflicting speed. So in that way, to get accurate data extraction, nowadays we are using drones for the traffic data collection. So here I'll show you the exact top view of a particular intersection in Kerala, a roundabout, how the vehicles are maneuvering during peak hour, off peak hour, and then night times. Once if you get this kind of clarity, the road user behavioral data, then we can establish the required surrogate safety measure, and based on that we can do the proactive safety evaluation. And once if you have the drone based video data for different facilities, then you have to accurately extract. So we use various the software for data extraction. So the whole intersection area is divided into a form of grids, and then we try to extract the kind of trajectories followed by particular vehicle type, and then the crossing vehicle types, so that the trajectories will give you the kind of various safety indicators. So this is nothing but the trajectory, that is a path followed by a moving object through space as a function of time. So with this trajectories, we can able to capture the required surrogate safety measures. So here we have shown the trajectory of pedestrian and trajectory of the car, and this data will give you the suitable surrogate safety measures. Now I'll show you the application of these surrogate safety measures with reference to one particular facility called signalized intersection. If you see the historic crash data at signalized intersection and then the actual driver behavior, the dilemma zones are the critical components at signalized intersection. So what is dilemma zone? So this is one approach of a signalized intersection. You could see the stop line, and this is a one approach. And then you might have seen the signal headings in terms of green, amber, and red. Suppose a particular vehicle is arriving at a distance of 100 meter, and then there is a clear indication of decreasing green time. And then if the driver is far away from the stop line, definitely he may decides to stop. Or if the driver is too close to stop line, he may desire to cross the intersection. Or if it is in between, some drivers may try to stop, some drivers may try to cross. That lead to a critical interaction among various road users. Based on the field data, if you see the distance from the stop line of various drivers, if they are very close to stop line, 0, 5 meter, 10 meter, they are trying to cross. The green is showing cross. If they are far from the stop line, mostly they are trying to stop. But at some distance, some drivers are crossing, some drivers are stopping. So this zone is called dilemma zone. How drivers are reacting or taking decision if they are in the dilemma zone. So that is one of the important contributing factor relating to road crash at signalized intersections. So that is what's shown here. So how the drivers are reacting and what speed they are traveling in the dilemma zone. So these aspects we have to consider as the indicators to decide the safety of signalized intersections. For this purpose, we generally use the device called driving simulators. So this is a car driving simulator, the facility what we have in our laboratory at IIT Bombay. So we have the 3 panels and then 150 degrees of field of vision. So the drivers will sit, and then the actual scenarios are usually created in the driving simulator, and we can see how different drivers are taking decision with reference to dilemma zone. If they are in a particular distance, then how they are reacting. And then to enhance safety, what we have done, we have identified various countermeasures or safety improvement measures and executed in the field in this simulator environment. And then we have evaluated how drivers are reacting on that. How do we enhance safety with the help of this driver behavioral studies? So here we have considered a kind of very long urban road network, a kind of urban scenario, 21.5 kilometer long stretch, and multiple number of signals. When the driver is in driving simulator and he drives throughout this stretch, and we are just taking his decision making process with reference to different positioning of the dilemma zone, and then how he is taking reactions. First, we are taking the different drivers driving behavior in the driving simulator environment. So this shows a kind of how a particular driver is driving on an urban road, and then when he observes the signal, how he is taking decision, at what distance he is taking an appropriate decision. Like this, we have observed the behavior of various road users. And then to improve the safety, to have appropriate countermeasures, we have considered a variable message sign in terms of a kind of display, variable message signs on the display, either in vehicle or the roadside. Now you are in dilemma zone, so you have to take this appropriate decision. Or dilemma zone markings on the field, or audio in advance audio vehicle audio messages, warning messages, how they are going to react. So without countermeasure in the driving simulator, how the drivers are reacting at signalized intersection, with dilemma zone countermeasures, how they are reacting. And then we evaluated various countermeasures with reference to actual driver behavior. And then based on, we identified a suitable measure which will enhance the safety at the field. So here you could see baseline condition, dilemma zone marking, audio warning, and variable message sign. How that increase the proportion of stopping people. If we give the appropriate message at appropriate time, so then they can able to take a right decision if they are in dilemma zone. So like this, we have done various advanced studies with the help of driving simulator, where we can bring the actual driver behavior into the picture, and we do testing in the driving simulator experiment, and the best measures can be executed in the field. And here I have shown the effectiveness of various countermeasures, the similar way what I have shown in the figure. So now the next topic, proactive approach, is road safety audit. As I mentioned, it is a formal examination of the existing road or the future project, which is in planning stage. We do a kind of thorough audit by an independent qualified team. This team is not part of the road facility development team. This is an independent third-party team. Evaluate the crash potential and safety performance of existing road or the proposed new projects. That is called road safety audit. Mainly this is with the principle of prevention is better than cure, and whether the facility is suitable for drive, ride, walk with full safety measures. So that is the purpose of conducting road safety audit. And then we have IRC SP 88 2010, and in 2019 there is an updated manual. This tells us clearly the road safety audit procedure, and then the checklist which will be useful for audit team. So this is one of the manual we have adopted, and we also involved in various safety audit exercise in Maharashtra as well as other cities in our country. And then I'll be showing a couple of our field observations relating to RSA. And as I mentioned, it is trying to understand the mistakes or error in terms of execution or in terms of construction, and understanding the causes of road crashes, and then providing a proper countermeasure or the safety devices in such a way that to prevent road users from the road crashes. And then this road safety audit process, usually we do at design stage, construction stage, and operational stage or pre-opening stage audit. And we have a set of audit team. As I mentioned, they are independent from the client side. And then various data we collect, and we make the multiple rounds of field visit to understand the crash potential based on the thorough field exercise and field observations. As I mentioned, we have various international and national guidelines, manuals for conducting this road safety audit. So this road safety audit is one of the important proactive measures. So in our country, Government of India has taken various measures for executing the road safety audit in various ongoing projects. So now it is very important exercise for facility development. The road safety audit is usually done by the third-party team during design stage, construction stage, as well as the operation stage. I'll show a couple of the images which we have taken during our safety evaluation. So here you could see kind of the road construction activity which is going on, the critical construction site without proper markings or signs. You see there is no proper markings and then signs at this facility. And then the absence of the reflective markings or warning signs. So particularly during night time, the two-wheeler bicyclist users were not aware. This is another the kind of issue usually we observe during construction stage. And diversion, there is a diversion, but there is no signboard, no proper the direction information to the road users. And the critical diversion, so it is a kind of again diversion, but there is no proper executed measure. All these aspects usually reviewed by the road safety audit team during construction stage, and all these errors will be immediately rectified by the concessionaire as well as the contractor to ensure safety. So this is one way how we do safety audit during construction stage. Absence of, after completing the road surface, they leave it for several months. The horizontal curves and then the edge line markings, the curve warning signs, all are missing at this stage. So this we observe and then suggest as suitable corrective measures. And then no merging ahead of sign. So here there is another stream of traffic coming and merging with through movement, but this section doesn't have proper safety measures in terms of marking, in terms of signages, in terms of information to the users, and these are all the kind of the issues we usually observe. So how do we avoid this kind of diversion during construction? As I mentioned, IRC SP 55/2001 gives a clear requirements of diversion signs required at the time of construction. A smooth horizontal and vertical profile should be ensured. Drainage issues should be taken care, and merging section or diverging section should be ensured with adequate capacity, and proper barricading and then diversion signboard should be placed in such a way that it regulates the traffic movement. And then many places we have seen the use of illegal median openings. So the motorized user may not aware the conflict coming through this unauthorized median openings. So this created unsafe situations at various facilities. Even many times the road users, they themselves create all these openings. So this should be regularized. This is another important factor which we have observed during our road safety audits. And we have to provide the footover bridge or pedestrian crossing facilities at various zones wherever it is important. Whenever we have a kind of high volume of pedestrian crossings in front of schools, colleges, marketplace, and establishments, then we have to see what kind of crossing facility can be provided, whether it is upgrade or footover bridge or underpasses. And these locations should have proper signs, and then we should adopt the IRC guidelines, codal provisions while executing this kind of pedestrian facilities. So this is another important aspect, the conflict between pedestrian and vehicle for the existing road as well as during construction. Road delineators are absent during construction as well as the post-construction. And then the illegal use of pedestrian underpasses. So this facility, this underpass is not meant for heavy vehicle. So that is a wrong use. So we should have a proper information signs and enforcement measures. So these things always create a kind of major unsafe situations. Vertical walls with exposed boulders, non-standard protections. This you might have seen at various construction sites. And intersections with conflicting geometry, the combination of horizontal vertical curves, double S or blind curves obviously lead to unsafe interactions. Complex intersection without any road marking. Okay, there is no regulation sign, and then the channelizing islands are present, but it is not serving the purpose. All these aspects usually that road safety audit team observe regularly and provide the improvement measures. So proactively, so this will be taken care in such a way that the accidents can be minimized or eliminated. no reflective markers on the traffic island, and the presence of top layered loose rocks may prove hazardous for vehicles. So whenever we have the hilly terrain, we have to take care of speed constraint, we have to take care of the various other the hill terrain related difficulties and issues, the hazardous nature of the hilly terrain. So these aspects also considered at the time of safety audit. So the team of our group visiting the site and understand what kind of remedial measures we can suggest. So these are the activities we do under the road safety audits for design stage, construction stage, as well as existing roads. And then the last part of my presentation, how do we connect various field observations and then various research activities what we are doing in our laboratory towards the practice. So how do we connect? So I'll give you a couple of examples. So when we do the kind of safety audit, so this kind of facilities, if we want to incorporate the safety measures, say for example the rumbler straps or speed table or pedestrian tables, one of the traffic calming measure, or channelizing islands to reduce the conflicts. So we develop these kind of measures in the simulator environment, and then we establish those countermeasures in the simulator environment. As I have shown earlier, one example at signalized intersection, we see how the drivers are reacting in terms of the provided traffic signs, the provided traffic control measures, regulation measures, and accordingly we take the feedback and decide a very good and then effective traffic control device. So in that way, the evaluation, the facilities what we have, the research attempts what we have done, everything will be finally connected to the field improvement measures, the field execution measures. And recently, we are in the process of getting this facility. This is called immersive virtual reality system. So this is a computer-based platform. The driving simulator is either car or two-wheeler or truck simulator. One driver is sitting and then he is getting visually 3 different panels, the road view environment. But this one, the pedestrian or a particular vehicle can get into this system. This is completely an immersive virtual reality system. Currently in our institute, we are establishing this facility where we can create a real world system. Any facility can be created here and we can see how the pedestrian or the road user they are reacting. And we could able to create the sound and other simile in this arrangement. And this kind of IVRS, immersive virtual reality systems, will help us to connect the road user, the facility, and then the vehicles, as well as the surrounding environment together, so that we can take proactively various improvement measures. So finally, I would like to conclude this lecture with the principles for safer road design. A safe road environment should warn unusual features, inform the conditions to be encountered, guide through unusual sections, control through conflict movements, and forgive for erroneous behaviors. If some road users, if they commit mistake, the road facility should not punish, it should forgive. We have to provide the warning and informative messages, as I shown in one of the example, on roadside or wind vehicle based on real-time monitoring of the traffic situations. And then we should have a control facilities in such a way that to give very immediate information to the road users, so that proactively we can handle the critical interactions and we can control and enhance safety on those interactions. And then a safe road environment should not have much surprises. Controlled release of relevant information and repeated pertinent information should be given to the road users. So these all are the general principles we should have while developing, executing, and operating various traffic facilities. To do so, all the advanced traffic facilities, driving simulator, immersive virtual reality system, and drone-based the actual field data collection, All these advanced technologies and tools will help us to achieve all the principles shown here for safer road design. And finally, I would like to conclude my lecture with 3 important safety tips, which I already highlighted a couple of aspects during my presentation. So one is a 2 seconds rule. If you are a road user, you are driving a two-wheeler or any other vehicle, it's very difficult to judge the distance or the time gap between the two users. But you ensure that you are following a 2 seconds gap, a 2 second thumb rule with other road users. So that is a kind of safety tip I would like to give you all. And as I already mentioned, please remember the blind spot. So the driver of heavy vehicle or car may not aware certain zones if somebody is waiting or somebody is crossing. And as I mentioned, the speed is directly proportional to severity. If you involve in the crash, if the speed levels are very high, as shown here, the speed is 80 km per hour, and then if you hit, so the hitting speed is 66 km per hour. So then the proportional severity will be there. So these are the safety tests. 2 seconds rule, remember the blind spot, and speed is always proportional to severity. And finally, wear all the safety elements, helmet, seat belts, and so on, and follow the traffic rules and regulation as a road user. I would like to give these tips to all the participants. With this, I conclude my presentation. Thank you all for attending this lecture. And then if time permits, we will be taking a couple of questions. So otherwise also, I have given my contact details. If you have any technical discussion relating to my presentation, you are always welcome to contact me through emails, or if required through my contact numbers. The mobile number and landline numbers are given. So with this, I conclude my presentation. Thank you all once again. Over to the organizers.
Sir, it was really a very informative session. You have enhanced our knowledge on the objectives of road transport safety, and then the traffic safety evaluation and road safety audit. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. So before we take up a QA session, I would like to inform the participants that the feedback link of this session is posted in the YouTube chat box. So kindly give your valuable feedback. So now I request the panelists, Dr. S.K. Prasad, Dr. Umesha PK, and Dr. Chandan Ghosh to take over the QA session. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Professor Shilpa. Sir, it was really very informative, very lucid talk. I have heard many lectures on road safety. I really treat this as one of the best I have heard. Maybe, I do not know. We have so many experts in India like you, but still, as you rightly showed, we are still on the negative side. So there are more accidents, there are more casualties. I don't know how we have to create awareness and who has to take responsibility. So this is where, there is a big challenge. We keep saying, we have, all kinds of traffic. People are ignorant and so many things. But are we really going in the right direction? Sometimes it is puzzling. Maybe you can answer that later. But there are many questions for you, and there is also appreciation. I just would like to read one appreciation from Nigeria. It's one Mr. Bernard Oravena. He was very happy. He's from Federal Polytechnic Eco-Way. He said, it is an excellent informative presentation. So he appreciated. Likewise, we have had many appreciations. I would like to invite Professor Chandan Ghosh to make his comment before we take up a few questions which are there. Professor Chandan Ghosh.
Yeah, thank you, Professor Vedagiri from IIT Mumbai or IIT Bombay. rather we say, Y is the new name, we want to say, and taking this road safety, especially where you have shown the statistics also that where India is, and the amount of COVID-related death is much less than what we used to have
Yes.
this accidental death that we are having.
Exactly.
And the things that, especially simulator part that you have shown, and also guideline that you have already made and which is available, and road marking, and also the most important part is auditing. I think in one of our session, like having Fiki yesterday, people are asking when we are presenting on COVID preparations and other things. They say that about disaster management. Why not there should be a disaster auditing about a building, facility, road, transport, and everything. So of course we could not have. I could not give a direct answer, but auditing, which we understand, especially in case of financial auditing, but auditing of our structure and auditing of buildings and auditing of the road, which you have explained so explicitly and so much that I think this is an eye opener for me, especially in reducing the number of deaths which are natural death, which are unwanted death that happening in road accident. So only thing is that the kind of things that we know in outside countries, especially in Japan, like they used to keep the simulator, they used to keep dummy person inside the car, and then make that, and they used to bring all the people there, common people, to see those kind of demonstration accidents and all those things. And which I think some of the company like Maruti, they are having their own Maruti company or some company. How much of that collaboration, having this kind of live means, of course dummy things are there, and company, especially car producing company Tata or our Maruti and all, how much collaboration that you are having, that is one thing that I would like to take it forward. And also another thing is, whenever accident simulation, whether you are doing any kind of accident simulation, whereas in National Disaster Management Authority, when it was formed in 2005-6, there are a number of this mock drill were held, and in one of the mock drill, while they are doing, whether it is in medical, whether it is just normal disaster mock drill, earthquake mock drill, or even simulation of earthquake also, when they were doing, in one of the operation, then one person died there, then it was just closed. But what we know that whenever such kind of simulation, background data are collected, and then you coordinate and synchronize with the people, the road users, as well as the traffic police and everyone together. There needs I think hand on, then we can see that particular places why accidents are happening, keep those data, simulate that, and then take some warning sign. I think they are kind of manufacturing plus traffic plus research institute. This kind of collaboration has to come beyond the training. There are some trainings are being held, but we have to bring it to really with your the simulation that you are doing. We expect that after this we consult and we take it forward with this road authority as well as roads construction authority, and then traffic, and all together with NDMA. That
Yeah,
will be
very true. Very true. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, sir, yeah.
And maybe
I fully agree with you, Professor Chandan. Yeah.
yeah,
I fully agree with
I'll
you.
do
Yeah.
one thing now. I'll very quickly read out a few questions so that our participants are
Okay,
also
sir.
satisfied. This is the question from Srinivasan Ramachandra. Any technology research towards incorporating a warning signal to mobile user from service provider where pedestrian or vehicle user using mobiles on road? Okay, so so service provider of mobile user, do they have any technology to give the warning system? Is there anybody working in that direction?
Yeah, actually, for that is a good technology. We are interested to have it. So for that, we have to get the real-time maneuverability of the road users. Once if you get the real-time information, then somebody can monitor. So what we usually do, if we have the facilities, then we have various surveillance system, the cameras, which regularly monitor and track the actual movement of pedestrian, vehicle and all other devices, through various devices. And then from the control room, if we have the behavior and interaction among various road users, if we identify something is a kind of the critical event, then this message can easily go to the drivers of two-wheeler or car or through mobile. So how do we get the current complex situation in the control room? How quickly and how accurately? Once if we have this information, then there are many ways of passing this information to the road user. Either, as I have shown, the roadside display messages, and then in-vehicle devices, or through mobile phone. So for that, the system, we have the controlled, the complete system, which is monitored and regulated through various devices. Once if you have the control facility, area-wide traffic management systems at city level, then it is possible to give the relevant information to the users.
Thank you. So this one is from Srinath M. He asks, how can we track vehicle operation behavior on road real time and send some alertness to vehicle operator by a new tool?
Right. So there are different ways of doing it. If you want to assess a particular driver and his driving behavior, so there are some the performance box or V box, video V box. These instruments can be fitted in that vehicle, and then we can track how the particular driver is driving on the particular stretch. How frequently he is applying brakes, acceleration, deceleration, and then all his driving characteristics can be captured. Or if you want to see the drivers using a particular facility, you can have different kind of sensors, the roadside sensors, which can be installed, and that tells you the driving behavior, the trajectories of the road users. Or if you have the video cameras, through that you can get the trajectories, what I have shown in my presentation, the trajectories of the road users collected through the video cameras. So through that also we can get, that tells the driving behavior of the road users.
Okay, thank you, sir. One more from Dr. Puneet Kotagi. So he just wants you to name a few open source traffic data extraction softwares.
Okay, so even a simple one, even IIT Bombay, we have IIT Bombay traffic data extraction tool. If you go to our TSC lab webpage, which is already available. And other than that, the various tools which are available, which are more suitable for homogeneous traffic conditions. So if you want to see the two-wheeler, cyclist, all heterogeneous categories of vehicles, what we have. So I think this our traffic data extraction tool, which is available in our webpage, that may be used. And another thing is we are also developing this drone-based data. If it is collected, we are developing certain other data extraction tools which are in the development stage. Very soon, our own research group will be providing a couple of open source tools.
Okay. Another question from Dr. Shivanand, professor at Reva University. Let me know which are the proactive measures used for traffic safety. How much of them are implemented?
Okay. So the proactive safety, as I mentioned, either we can do it through road safety audit or through the behavioral studies with a driving simulator, or you can capture the actual field data and then you can do. So once we extract, we identify the facilities which are highly unsafe. There we just propose various countermeasures. And couple of stretches where we involved in national highways and other urban roads, where we involved in road safety audit exercise, We have executed various safety countermeasures based on this advanced or proactive traffic safety evaluation.
Okay, thank you. Now, actually, a number of questions are coming one after the other. But if we go, too far, then we'll be occupying Professor Chandan's time. So I'll keep another two questions now. Okay, this is from Shibani Hanraja. Can you give some differentiating input on hill driving characteristics?
Differentiating input on?
Hill driving,
Okay.
hill driving characteristics.
Sure. Yeah. So this is one of the kind of very complex facility what we have. Say for example, we have some codal provisions in terms of road geometry, particularly at hilly terrain. But when we see the actual driver behavior on hilly terrain, particularly at horizontal and vertical curves, we could see a lot of gap. We may have a good infrastructure, but the interaction with the driver of those hilly roads is completely different. To make a safe hilly terrain roads, the facilities what we have provided. Suppose if someone is designing a hilly road, then that facility should be incorporated in the simulator environment. We can bring a two-wheeler simulator, we can bring a car simulator, we can bring a truck simulator, and we see how the drivers are actually performing the proposed design of hilly road. And based on the actual driver interaction, the interaction with the facility, interaction with traffic control devices, we may select the appropriate the countermeasures, and then we go for executing those terrains. So one important aspect is we have to bring the driver interaction while designing these facilities itself, in addition to the codal provisions what we have.
Okay. Thank you, sir. I think, I will just allow one last question, and after that, maybe Professor Umesh, if you want to say something, you can say, and we will wind up because we have already crossed the time. So this is from Adarsh Pajai, Technical Future of Civil Engineering. Can we provide a road crossing for pedestrians over to the vehicle in order to reduce accidents?
Yes, definitely. As I mentioned, wherever at urban environment, wherever there is a need, so we should have a proper pedestrian crossing facilities at grade or underground or elevated. So these facilities, IRC has various guidelines. What is the demand and what is the pedestrian vehicle conflict demand, and accordingly how a suitable facility should be decided. We can have those facilities, and then definitely we should ensure a safe crossing of pedestrians. There are certain measures, and based on that, we decide what kind of crossing facility can be provided.
Excellent, sir. Anyway, from my side, I sincerely thank you. Excellent presentation, and then all questions very well answered. There have been many appreciations for you. Professor Umesh, would you like to say something?
Yeah. So Professor Vedagiri, I think, has explained very nicely all the aspects, starting from the road user behavior, risk factors, and the road safety audit, and also what is the proactive traffic safety measures, that is using the surrogate safety measures and all the things. And he also measured what is the research and how to take to the practice. That is also very important. You have to, nowadays it's very requirement for any research, you have to go to practice. That also he explained nicely. I would like to thank him very nicely. Thank you, sir.
Thank
you.
You.
We'll like to have very nice. I'll thank you, sir, very much.
Okay, thank you, Misha. And then we have
sir,
already.
Yeah, Professor
Chandan wants to ask.
Yeah, just only to flag one thing, that there may be many queries from the participants. We say that since due to the time shortage, we collect those queries and then we'll send it to Professor Vidyavardhaka today itself after collecting it, and whatever it is possible to answer by voice or by writing or whatever suitable way that we can put it into our website or
we will surely take care of it.
We'll do it, sir.
We'll take care of it, Professor Chandan. So we now hand over the session back to Dr. Shilpa, please.
Thank you all. Thank you
you.
for this opportunity.
Yes, thank you all
Thank
for
you.
your wonderful interaction. So now it's time for closing the first session. So I request Mr. D.P. Mahesh, Associate Professor, Department of Civil Engineering, BVCE, to propose the vote of thanks. Over to you, sir. Mahesh, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Shilpa ma'am. Good evening, everyone. As we have come to the end of third lecture on online training program on futuristic research in the disaster resilience, it's my privilege to propose the vote of thanks. On behalf of Department of Civil Engineering, Vidyavardhaka College of Engineering, Mysuru, and National Institute of Disaster Management, Ministry of Home Affairs, Government of India, New Delhi, I convey my sincere thanks to the speaker, Dr. P. Vedagiri of IIT Bombay, Mumbai, for sharing his knowledge and experience. Thank you very much, sir. Further, I wish to thank all the participants for your active participation in the session. I also wish to convey sincere thanks to the technical team, faculty, and the staff members of the Department of Civil Engineering, NIDM. Finally, thank to all the concerned, and we look forward to seeing you all in the next session. And thank you, one and all. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Professor
Thank you.
Vidyavardhaka,
Yeah.
for giving a fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Dr.
sir.
Shilpa, please unmute.
Shilpa, you are muted. Professor
Okay.
Shilpa, you are muted. Okay.
So we once again request all the participants to give your valuable feedback using the link posted in the chat box. So dear friends, we'll let us have a break for a minute, and then we will switch on to our next session. So stay tuned in the same link. So we will rejoin shortly to the next session. Thank you.
Okay. So the session was well organized. Yeah. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Very well organized. Appreciate your efforts. Okay.
Very nice. We'll keep in touch with you, and yeah, we should interact. Please do come to Mysore. It will be a pleasure
Sure.
to have you at my institution, at our institution.
Sure, definitely. Okay.
Very
See you.
nice.
Bye-bye. Yeah. Take care.
Thank you very much. Take care. Take care.
We have all heard change is the law of nature, but time and again it has been shown that change is also the law that governs technology. With every passing day, technology requires us to create change, evolve, and accept to handle it better. Each passing day, we as engineers hunt new problems and find solutions to them. And we don't stop at it, we better the solution. Change is challenging, yet change is rewarding. And we have changed. We are now autonomous.
Dear participants, welcome back to the session 2. So before we proceed with this session, I would like to make few announcements. So I request the participants to kindly post their queries in the chat box during the session with their name and place. And at the end of the session, we will take those queries. And we also request the participants to kindly register yourself at NIDM website to get the e-certificate. Only those registered participants will get the e-certificate. Okay, so without any delay, so now I request Mr. Anjan, Assistant Professor, Department of Civil Engineering, VVCE, to introduce our second session speaker, Dr. Chandan Ghosh, to the august audience. Over to Anjan, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Shilpa Madam. Good evening. Thanks to all of you for being here with us today. I am pleased to welcome everyone present on the occasion of this fourth lecture of the online training program on futuristic research in disaster resilience, being organized by Vidyavardhaka College of Engineering, Mysore, and National Institute of Disaster Management, Ministry of Home Affairs, Government of India, New Delhi. First of all, I have the pleasure in welcoming the eminent researcher and today's speaker, Dr. Chandan Ghosh, for the occasion. Welcome to you, sir. And I also welcome Dr. S.K. Prasad, Head of the Department of Civil Engineering, UDC Mysuru, Dr. H.S. Dayananda, Dean Academics and Exam Affairs, Dr. Umesha P.K. and the coordinators of Research Studio, Department of Civil Engineering, UVC. I take this opportunity to welcome all the guests, all my colleagues and the students, and as well as most important for any activity is the participants. As all of you have come together to listen to Dr. Chandan Ghosh, I wholeheartedly welcome you all. I welcome each and everyone. Now I have a pleasant duty to perform, that is introduce Dr. Chandan Ghosh to you all. Dr. Chandan Ghosh is a civil engineering graduate from 1985 batch of Bengal Engineering College, and he did his master's in civil engineering in 1987 from Jadavpur University, PhD from IIT Kanpur in 1992, and doctoral engineer in 2004 from Ibaraki University, Japan. He has been serving National Institute of Disaster Management, Ministry of Home Affairs, Government of India since July 2006 as Professor of Resilient Infrastructure Division. He served as Faculty of Civil Engineering at IIT BU from 1990 to 2000 and did postdoctoral research in Japan and was on deputation to IIT Jammu from September 2019 to December 2020, where he served as professor and dean of student welfare. Professor Ghosh works in the areas of earthquake geotechnology, reinforced earth, seismic microzonation, ground improvement techniques, geosynthetics, and bioengineering measures for sustainable developments. He has developed more than 30 years of his career in UG and PG teaching, research guidance, development of teaching tools, and training modules for engineers, architects, and town planners. He has published more than 135 papers in reputed journals, conference proceedings. As recognition to his seminar contributions, Professor Ghosh received Leonard Prize for the best doctoral thesis in 1993, CIDC Vishwakarma Award in 2013, IGS Sri H.C. Verma Golden Jubilee Award in 2013, Lifetime Achievement Award in 2019 from Indian Geotechnical Society, Delhi chapter. These are Professor Ghosh achievements among many. Sir, it's indeed my honor to present you to the audience for delivering the second lecture of second day on IoT devices for disaster management for this online program on futuristic research in disaster resilience. Thank you everyone and over to you, sir.
So, thank you. Am I audible? Okay. Okay, share screen.
Sir, I request you to
Yeah.
take over the session. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, it is coming. And then
Yes, sir.
is it coming? Okay. So, good evening to everyone, and especially the kind of arrangement made by Vidyavardhaka Engineering College. And also today is the second day, and running this session with a special remarks and special motivation towards futuristic resilience. So my topic is to look at. I think topic is not seen over here. Okay. It is mainly on ICT or ICT tools or IoT tools, IoT, Internet of Things tool in making something or something, knowing before something is going to happen, or knowing something how much before. And we from civil engineering fraternity, we are familiar with many things, but many things have not yet come into our practice. And the photograph that which you are seeing, it is a Chamoli earthquake in Uttarakhand, 7th February, Sunday morning. All in a sudden, debris flow occurred, and that has washed away the Tapuvan Vishnugad project site, which is about 22 kilometers away from the place where the debris flow started. And this is the most memorable, as well as what you can say, our rescue team could survive a person, one of them who were in the muck, and that muck debris went into the 2-kilometer tunnel where number of people were working at that time. But now we think that had we had some kind of IoT device like something like this, or IoT device with each one of them, which I'm going to tell now, with all of them, who will be connected wirelessly without any things. Like we have Wi-Fi in our room, we know, but at the same time, we can have some device in our pocket, in our car, as a wearable device. What are those devices? And how we should use these things in such kind of situation when a mega project like this were going on, more than 200 people were washed away, they are dead, missing, not 50 or 60, we could dug them out or somewhere or other, rest of them still we do not know, it is more than 3 months. So then how many people are there? It is also an guesstimate or estimate. So think of in the 21st century, even today, when Olympic type of organization, we say that making a dam construction, that too in a, of course, in a hilly area, and with hundreds of workers and machineries are there, then having no system of communication among each and everyone, I think that doesn't suit current days of development that we have taken place. So we'll see that how such kind of situation could have been pre-warned, including debris flow, and what kind of IoT devices, not only devices, but their engineering is there, understanding is there. So I will basically cover that, especially about the earthquake, how smartphones are being now used, or big data are being used over here, but not as a researcher over here. It is only application part I want to highlight over here. And then what we understand in civil engineering is all machinery, or even like in case of tunnel, like tunnel boring machine, or even JCB, or whatever machinery, or whatever things that we have known so far, or while making a dam construction or tunnel construction, there are so many devices that we keeping monitoring water pressure or progress. Now we use drone to have a surveillance on how many millimeter or how many centimeters of concrete has been done, or water level has come up. These are all being monitored very, very, very efficiently these days. So let us see to what extent we can go through in opening up some of the areas which are in practice elsewhere, but we want to see ignite ourselves through various means of communication. And when we talk about computer these days, it is not only increasing the speed. You may know that these days now quantum computer has come up, which is thousand times more computing power. It is coming out. Genetic algorithm or computer this quantum computer kind of things now have become a reality. So in this case, it is not only a computer monitor or keyboard is the connection, but so many industries are involved. So industry 4, which is going on, where we have to have a proper sensor devices, we have to have network, we have to have platform like this, and we have to have some application. So taking all this together, how we are going to revolutionize, redefine our way of life, dealing with especially the kind of event that has taken place, or many such are going to happen, because we cannot stop them happening, but at least we have a lot of things that where we can save a lot of life, and we can also pre-warn, or we can give some warning, or we can take appropriate measures before things comes down. So the context today, first I will show living with the disaster, because National Institute of Disaster Management, and then from living with disaster to resilience, where is a gap and what is that? I will not put any language or anything. I will only put some of the figures which I have collected from various sources. Then perception for engineers and common people in this way. So when what kind of perceptions that we as civil engineers or civil taking that civil part, and for the common people, how we can convert them or we can make them available. Then shifting from analog to digital, that what are the transformation has taken place? The transformation that has taken place even in the last 5 years, probably we have not expected this transformation that has happened in the last few years. Maybe for the before that another 50-60 years we never thought or imagined. So what is the shift, and how without losing touch with the physical reality, how we must put our understanding into that, or how we can keep a touch from this transformation, how we will consume as well as utilize willful manner and nicely, so that we can solve the problem. So what are those transformation I would like to highlight? Then what are the genesis of earthquake early warning, and also in the manner how even based on the traditional way of, you see some of the thing, cloud burst and thunderbolt, ground penetrating thunderbolt, every year 3 to 5,000 people are dying because of thunderbolt. In our universities, in our institute, we never talk about other than science but application part to save the life. So how early warning with proper utilization of devices at strategic places, distancing even 1,000 kilometers away, how they have radar communication, certain bandwidth is there. So how those kind of wireless communications are connected together, then they are able to give us, before thunderbolt, ground penetrating, when before it comes down to the ground, millions and billions of micro bolt or micro thunderbolt that which is happening in the sky, then they combine, and what is the mechanism behind that, and where it is going to come down. Now it is a reality, but some of the state government have taken this technology from outside, but we do not have any such kind of application oriented research lab or connections with the people that who are facing, or with the administration that who are taking care of all this relief and other things. Volcanoes, then if we say, and even also landslide, number of things that we have established. But you see that how Internet of Things have revolutionized our traditional way of understanding. So I'll try to give you some glimpse of that. The use of smartphones, AI, IoTs, and Industry 4 together right now, that how they are not mixing, I would say, how judiciously we are selecting them and deciding. Of course, there our brain have to work that what kind of information we are trying to gather, and especially in making a system works before that it goes out of order. Then digital health monitoring and smart devices, that which we know now, the more smarter that our phone is becoming, the more knowledge that we are able to get in every day, and the kind of mobile phones that are available and affordable in these days, the kind of smart system that incorporated in our mobile phone. I'll give some of those things, how they are being utilized these days for early warning, dissemination. Then use of wireless devices, which I was mentioning, for air quality monitoring, panic button kind of things, device which are in place in many of the shopping malls or in many of the bus stops. I'll give you those examples. Or even how to count how many people are there. Like you are in Mysore, so it is about 3,000 kilometers away. So we have got the device now which can connect you. It will tell that every 500 kilometer, if we put that gateway, so in 2,000 kilometer distance that where you are sitting, like your college is there, there are system that it will be able to count how many people are there. Like I am sitting in my room, in my family member, if I put that device in my room, like I am having in my mobile, one such system over here, or another one, you can say this kind of system here. It is put up that to make this kind of chips in the laptop. In my laptop also I have, in my Wi-Fi that it is having, and this kind of system, how they are making this, like when I talk to this phone, even if I speak for, like it is there, as the company demands. I'm not advertising here. It is enviro chip, you can say that. When it is smartphone, of course they take care of all the specifications. But when you use these chips here at this position, or now in Wi-Fi device also now available like that, then it is randomizing the waves coming from electronic device. When I'm talking over this or sitting over here, some regular waves are getting transmitted. My sensory organs over here, by these, everything it is getting. But these are all regular electric signal. But what it does, as they say, it randomizes all this signal. I do not know the theory. I just simply say that, as they say, it randomizes the signal to suit my this listening or this organ or my eyes. Or here in this case, when I'm talking over here, some of the signal will be passing over here. Or then we have to keep certain distance over here. So if you keep this distance, or if you keep over here, it gives some advantage that even if you talk for 2 hours or 3 hours, of course, we do not suggest, no doctor will suggest, at least this will not get burning sensation. So that kind of smart devices are also, plenty of them are coming into the market. So we'll see judiciously in order to make our life quality, quality of the life, like current scenario of various devices that available, how we can have those things in our day-to-day life. So there are these devices, they can count head counter, like in Kumbh Mela or even a market, how many people have entered, what are their location, everything they are going to count. So I'll show you some of those devices. Even now they are able to track the COVID virus also through aerosol borne COVID tracker also. So many things are coming into the market. And what are the innovation now that COVID has instilled within us in the last 15, 16 months for the mankind? Some of those things also, like whether it is a face mask, what the innovation has come. Because innovation, passion, and the kind of problem that we have faced, and the kind of problem that we are able to turn out, we are able to come up, or we are able to turn around, which we are facing. But it has given a dimension that right now what we are. So just only to say that in this context, then I would like to say that disaster definition, and from there to resilience, I want to show simply quickly some photographs that most of the cases we are looking disaster as a big burden. Like we often say, oh, this has become disaster. Even not getting phone connection, oh, it is a big disaster. Not getting a proper things, oh, it is a big disaster, because it has become so much into our mindset or into our thing. So in that way, we are sometimes looking superficially outside, without intervening inside, or without looking at that, showing that yes, we are all together, but actually we are the people, that young minds or everyone, we have to work together. Work together is not to be sounded by just only word of mouth, but we have to go through many devices, technique, technology, calculation, and then simulation, and many things have to come up, because that is the way of life that we have been dealing with. So simply, if we go through our city life like these, we may talk about a lot of computer devices, IoT devices, and many things. But if our city around us, when we are living in our buildings, and if these are the kind of things, this is one of the Facebook photo 5 years ago, that these are the open drains carrying cities excreta. Sorry, I have used a word not good. In liquid form, with open wide spaces, free to emit all obnoxious fragrances. I am saying fragrances because I am just eulogizing it, what it is emitting from here into our air space, possibly not detected by our kit, air quality kit, PM, that particle, that 2.5 kit, that which is available. Delhi has got more than 40 such things are there, air quality monitoring. Even for the state of Karnataka, they have got more than 6,000 automatic weather station in the entire. Even though the state is starving with water on the northern side, and it is flooded with water in the southern side, but 6,000 plus automatic weather station is there. Just simply, it is something like that. Superficially, we are monitoring that where how much amount of rainfall. But from the civil engineering side, from the engineering or from the community side, if we when our pledge is to become a resilient, and we have to see that how to distribute this surplus water from the south or the state of Karnataka 200 or 300 kilometers to the north. Now it is raining in the south. So thing is, we are monitoring it, and we are seeing there's so much rainfall. We are measuring it, showing in a Google map or showing in a map and everything information. Oh, this much rainfall has occurred. But we have to take it much beyond towards solving that. If you think of that 300 kilometer distance is to be carried extra water from the south to the north, it needs only 3 days time to make 1 meter diameter of pipeline from the south to north. 3 to 4 days of time, we have got that kind of capacity in the country. So not liver drinking or anything we should talk about in that manner, but at least surplus water inland wise, carrying it 200, 300, like Bangalore is getting water 300 kilometer away, or Chennai is getting through canal 500 kilometer. So that can be done in few weeks of time. We to carry that extra water without disturbing economy or anything, or ecology or everything, through pipeline and heavy duty pump more efficiently and more speedy wise. So we, from civil engineering side, we have to look at solving that thing rather than how many IoT devices that we have put up in our thing. But outside, with all the things that we have been doing, when such kind of sewerage are placed and going through the canal in this manner, and we are taking all these things and keeping crore worth of air quality devices in the city, in and city, and we are simply monitoring and showing a map showing that how many times that it is poorer in quality than the WHO standard. That is not the things that we have to take as a just in our day-to-day life. We have to convert it to the reality, clean it before it comes to the air. Otherwise, it is disturbing several thousands of people and community and air together. Then see the another, how to protect our habitat. Like when it rains, when it is raining, we just keep the bank like this manner. So in civil engineering, especially geotechnical or geosynthetic, we know how quickly this sand bond can be arranged. This need not to be taught to civil engineers. But how much of them, how many of them, in what way, quickly, in few hours of time, when flood water is coming, we can use them perfectly in this manner to increase the flow capacity so that it doesn't inundate. So this needs a little bit of lateral thinking, which often we forget, but we have to do it. Or even saving a building like this, it is not only our country, by simply a flood wall or simply a retaining wall or simply a boundary wall, just only enough care is to be taken that it will be stable and we know that how to make it stable. Only put some kind of paints. There are 20 companies in our country who make same kind of paint, that just put the paint, then it will stop. Even if little leakage is there, we have enough pumping system to take them out so that functionality of this building remain intact. Otherwise, if you think that traditionally flood has come, so we have to go shift them to some shelter, or we have to arrange for this team, that team, EOC, this communication, that communication. No, it is our job is to look at that, how quickly and genuinely we can take care with minimum effort, but a good amount of safety measures, resilience measures through this flood wall here, that we can save and we can make things functional. And living with flood in our city, sandbags like this, or living in with flood, maybe 1 feet, 2 feet water, using such kind of devices, or even using these things, probably they are very much rare. Even if we have seen these things in taken or seen the other countries are doing, we do not need any foreign technology or material. Only thing is that presence of mind that we have to do in our city, compound, residence, or in our area, wherever it is getting flooded, that we can save a lot doing these things. Okay. Or even keeping the road functional, even if flood water has made using geotube. Nobody, so this is a different way. It's the same spice. We are just putting in a different, different recipe that we have made to keep this road functional. So these are the things that we expect. And next thing is, before and after earthquake of China 2008, it was existing. It is broken. So we may take a lot of things because of heritage structure. It is broken here. Buildings are also broken. Nepal earthquake, a lot of things are broken. Even recent April 29th, Sonitpur earthquake in Assam, lot of things we had noted. 60, 70 buildings have developed crack, but those crack development in the buildings or 20 buildings seriously affected, they have not fought with the earthquake at all, because they have not been constructed keeping resiliency or keeping total provisions in mind. They have been constructed just like that because they have to construct it just negating whatever rules, regulation, or guideline or codal provisions are there. Those are there. Those are not being made concern. So when we go for visiting such kind of sites, when earthquake affected area or flood affected area, then we have to make that first audit such kind of structure, such kind of buildings. So that auditing has become a taking note of that what may go wrong in case of earthquake, flood, or any other natural or man-made event. So that has to be made part and parcel in order to bring resilience, or futuristic resilience has to come through auditing of the existing one and ensuring that what is being new under construction to be made as per standard design that available. These were there, this is not there. So this was there before Bhuj earthquake, this is not there. So what is that we have learned that this is weak. So, but still we are making tilt or stilt building in our cities, like 20-story building with stilt at the ground floor or 2-tier below. We are still making, but they fail. And there are several such experiments have been made to recreate such kind of failure. Whether it is a temple or whether it is a multi-story flat, it doesn't make any difference. Earthquake behaves same. So when we look at the auditing aspect of the buildings, especially, then we say that these are the arrows indicating that what are the wrong things. Because when you look at micro aspect of each and every part of the building, then we know that how much disease are there. So just only quickly, I want to, these are the vulnerable buildings. Then one thing is, when we go back to nature or look at the nature, this is just from my house, where my house is there. From my veranda, I took this photograph. So you can see that what is the thickness or what is the diameter of this stand over here. And then what is these connections? And if you take these three main branch, add them, what is that our steel structural or concrete member joint can say that it has got so much strength in a joint. First, we are not in a position to define that what is this joint. And also, we are not in a position that what is this joint and how we can recreate this joint which has made, and what is a monolithic, we understand something, but how this can carry so many tree trunk which is more than 20 meter, 30 meter each of them, each one again having these things. I think we do not have any study or understanding that how nature made it possible, and possible, not only possible, but it is resilient also. They hardly fell down, this kind of tree. So this banyan tree is having so many branches extending their wider network so gorgeously and strong enough for a lifetime, say about 100 years, and it is so well intact with the ground, requiring no water or any food from anyone like us. Yet it is wondering how defying our understanding of frame structures that we have known from the rudiments of civil engineering discipline. And this example is unparalleled, yet not proved by any mechanics seemingly known to us. I do not know as of now, you may make me wiser, but just it is one of the Facebook posts that were made. Then what we have to come back as a resilience, is that like German Chancellor Angela Merkel looks out onto the Solent Oder River on 29th May 2010, Frankfurt, Germany. See how swiftly a flood barrier system has been built up across the river Oder, ensuring safety to the national leaders that testifying the engineering details. We have many things we have been doing. We are making dam, we are making roads, bridges and tunnel. But when we look at disaster resilience or taking some quick fix kind of things, not that after things it is over, but giving such kind of confidence and resilience or making such kind of quick structure to give a confidence to the leaders or whoever is our main frame of engineering and understanding and applied engineering that we understand. So in that way, just it is a first part that it is from the hazard to resilience. So we have to be very good at governance to have a high resilience. We have to be very good social, economically also we have to be enriched. We have the coastal area, we have the land use and structural design. We have to know something like this is a knowledge exercise that we are doing along with all of you. And then we have to have an understanding of the warning and evacuation. Then we have to have how to respond to an emergency. And we have to have how to settle or resettle after something happens. So that way, from you can see from this that in what way conceptually we should look into the resilience from the hazard perspective to resilience perspective. Now, after discussing all these things, of course, I would say that this is a famous photograph that you know in this Washington during Washington earthquake. This was there in the Science Museum, but after that it has created that earthquake phase. It has created a role. So our it is given that an earthquake rose. It has created roles. Now, if we want to just get happy that, oh, I am a great artist, I have become an artist, not the civil engineer, how nicely let me put some kind of biomimicry or something into this, that how again or simulate these things, that again another roles of different characteristics and other things are there. We can create a note. Probably that would be a it will be an unrequired exercise, and in such cases we have to look at earthquake safety rather than making a computer simulation with all the sand particles and other, which is unfortunately going on in our academic industry. That we look at that all those things rather than solving the problem. So let us see what we expect as a society from the scientists and from whatever organizations are there, government, non-government, and across the world. We expect that as a common being, that we expect that wherever I am, we expect something that what is that when my place or where I am right now in Delhi, when the next big shock is going to come and giving me what is that window time, so that I can take appropriate measure. That is a constitutional right. We have the life. We have the right to live safely in our habitat. Of course, for that many ifs and buts are there. But what it is there, it needs to have a background system. So we may expect a lot of things, but whether background system is there or not, that background system consists of academic research funding, and then organizational structure, and then disseminating the things, analyzing the things. Many things are involved. So when we expect that there are a lot of background things have to be there, so then only when earthquake occurs somewhere here, then this is of the Japan Meteorological Agency. We have got now National Seismological Center for Seismology, but so many systems have to be there in place. Of course, every earthquake-prone country, they have got certain kind of system like this to know that when earthquake occurred, where it is, what is the magnitude, how early we are able to detect rather than predict the earthquake occurrence. detecting earthquake and giving some information is the main emphasis of today's discussion, so that if it is in few seconds, like here you can see 27 second, if it is few seconds at least, whether we can check a train or a nuclear facility or a turbine or a dam which are in operation, if something affects that area, because we are making dam in even earthquake prone area everywhere, because we have to make it, because our Himalaya is earthquake prone. So we are making many dam because the advantage of storing water over there because of the snow and everything. So that study we do. But ultimately, having this system and then applying them, not for simply saving people's life, but of so many life may be saved if we can stop the train which carries maybe thousands of people. So that is where the application part, which is in fact very much eminent to while we carry out some research for the futuristic resilience. So far in our country, we are so much and involved in this year, few of our organizations or few people only, but coming from here to here, it will take a lot of time. Probably we have to borrow some technology, but technology is well known to everywhere. So here now we have to see that traditionally, if we go this way, a lot of investment is required. But if we take big data, which I'm going to take up IoT devices, then not completely substituting what traditionally is being done, but we can make this information as well as application more practicable in the current scenario of our computer system and IoT system and communication system. So early warning concept in fact came up in 1860, 150 years before, 50, 53 years. So it is quickly we should be able to detect it on detection and alerts, and it is in fact all these things were stated by J.D. Cooper, a doctor in San Francisco in 1868, the same year that a magnitude 7 rocked the Bay Area. A doctor thought in that way. So I said several times civil engineer, civil engineer. It is not that whatever COVID things that are going on, it is not only doctors, paramedical staff, and many scientists are working, data scientists are working, epidemiologists are working. So a host of, and even a vaccine when it is being produced, so many countries they are cooperating, and some are manufacturing, some are supplying some of the items like that, like this. So cooperation. So whatever was thought 153 years before, in the case of earthquake early warning by no other than a doctor, so you must not forget, or we must also inculcate to see that what people from other domain area thinking about that, and then make an understanding about that, take it forward. So anyway, today I would like to say that market intelligence and what are the 12 mega trends. Some of these things is 3D printing, artificial intelligence, big data, blockchain. You all are familiar with all these things. Of course, in civil engineering, we are also moving towards this now. Connectivity, then digitization, then IoT, which we are going to show you some of the applications, then nanotech, robotics, smart infrastructure, like building information system or modeling or something, wearable devices like this, or smart manufacturing kind of thing, industry 4 kind of things are there. And so, in fact, the main, of course, thing that to discuss about today is that how all this together is working. And where Internet of Things, world of IoTs are here, here you can see the green colored things are there. They are already published data or published documents. Blue colored one, still we have to see that they are coming up. Rail asset management, or you can say IoT connectivity management, and then smart infrastructure, then smart buildings, smart cities are coming up. So when 99 smart cities are taken up in the country, then the IoT, application of the IoT have got a very, very big, not that we started analog system wise maybe for the last 10 years using CCTV camera in some of the gullies or some of the roads or footpath or some of the open park or wherever there is some or offices or even many places. But those are now that kind of CCTV devices are intelligently software control to see that before things happen that we can get some kind of check or some kind of devastation that we can check that. If you put a just keyword IoTs in the market, India Mart, there are several lakhs of things you will get. With Indian rupee, Wi-Fi intruder alarm bell you may get at the price of 3,500 or even less. Just I took a screenshot. Or if you see the most important one, hardly 0.001% of us we rely on these things, even though it is available at 85 rupees a piece. Water alarm bell in our overhead water tank, because we are not in a, even though bell is available at 85 rupees, but the connecting where plus maintaining proper electricity and that whatever that magic bell is having and all other devices, when we make it, sometimes it makes us unreliable because after a year or two it goes out. Then in that case we say that let there be an outlet pipe which will be there in the bathroom or in the kitchen, something that which is more reliable. So overnight, we don't want to, many of us, we want to keep in a traditional one. But when multiple and complex system will be there, then we have to go for these things. We must be ready in that case. Then public alert mobile app, use of cloud computing. Right now, these days, instead of having sensors confirm an earthquake event or provide intensity triggers, Grillo, it is one of the app, has developed very low cost yet sensitive sensors that transmit raw data to remote data centers. Like 4 or 5 of our IIT have created data center of their own where several terabyte of data can be stored there. So to remove remote data centers in real time using Internet of Things protocol. Now, how this is? Now this is that Vishnugad, that NTPC area where this mark came, and then it has made this area. Just another scenario. I want to say that how it has happened on February 7th. But these are the things that happen even in our country also, where no devices, nothing were there. But even though we are progressing a lot in the landslide, tomorrow you will get more important discussion on this. But with the help of certain measuring devices, we could have not stopping, but at least we could have known or saving. But what are those domain of IoT in existence and many more? Every day, tens or thousands of these devices are coming up. But as far as particular use, which I was mentioning in the beginning, like panic button, or you can say carbon dioxide monitoring. Like I said, COVID instilled innovation. One of that is it is found that in a research paper, if in a closed room like I am here for 2 hours in my room, carbon dioxide worldwide measuring device it is giving 417 current date. And if I have this kind of device which are very handy, doesn't need anywhere nothing, only need a AA battery, 2 battery, it keeps this system functional more than 5 years. It doesn't need anywhere or anything. It has to be connected through a gateway which may be kept maybe 500 kilometer away from my source. That is why I was telling in the beginning, Mysore is 2,000 kilometer. If I keep four or five or six, say, such sensor in an array, then I'll be able to know, or you will come to know through this kind of LoRa-based technology here, that how many of us here or remotely through a mobile this can be monitored. We all know these things, but this is the things that in the market now fast it is going, and these are now coming up in a wearable devices, even in our mobile phone. So industrial panic button like this, or air quality sensor, only one is enough. So when it has got a range of 500 kilometer, so you keep, instead of making 40 such air quality monitoring, each costing us more than maybe crore, you can see in the market, we put this device which doesn't cost even 5,000 rupees at those 40 places, keep this gateway at one place, because it is, Delhi is 40 kilometer by 40 kilometer. So one such gateway device with 40 or 400 of these things, entire Delhi, we can count every digit of the air quality with 400, 500 or 1000, because this system can handle more than 10,000 such devices connected, any kind of devices. Here 4, 5 is given. So one thing is, then tracker, it can track, because we have GPS enabled tracker, and people counter, it can count how many people inside or how many are there, everything they can count with this system. And then customer feedback can be taken like this, or many such things, because there are huge, a lot of such devices are coming up in the market. So trucking industry trend, or trucking industry and everything, all these things are, you can see a lot of literature available. And then how we have to redefine ourselves in the healthcare or agriculture, aerospace and defense, in high tech, where all Internet of Things and technology, telecom, chemical, all these things are defined. And Industry 4, of course, it is taken from McKinsey and company, that how they look at 5G utilization, connectivity, data, and human-machine interaction, or advanced engineering, or analytics and everything. Now we are coming to know very fast how to connect each other and make more integration. Then how COVID-19 gave a sense of sensors and surveillance. How COVID-19 gave us a sense of sensors and surveillance. So this is a traditional way. See that what is the area where doctors also can get affected. But when we have a digital system, Internet of Things system, it is our Indian IU devices, that startup, they have made that when doctor is going to check, and digital, thermometer or digital or whatever devices, now these are all digital. Even our watch also has got these days, the smart watch is having several such components. Now the component has come which can measure more than 15, 20 of our parameter in the blood sugar or blood pressure and everything. They can parameter, that kind of sensors are also there. So it is really, so that is why recently digital health institute or organization has been created recently by one of the IIT. So such kind of things we can make, or such kind of things are also made possible. Doctor is not within this area, but a person with proper protective or PPE kit, they can check digitally without touching. Such kind of innovations are coming out in the market. So digital stethoscope, these are all created long back, but we depend. Of course, there are many such. These are all available 500, 600 rupees in our country, but having checked through a mobile phone, connecting it through a mobile phone is nothing but a small, or rather you can say revolution, or that can be made possible. Or how many of us we can see that it is not in the country that we have seen that at least mask, that N95 mask, if you see in Amazon, it is about 94, 95 rupees. per piece, or 10 piece, it may be 900 plus. But transparent one, it is also one kind of innovation, still maintaining that that kind of infection control and other things. So this is one way. Or even when we go for hand washing or something like that, 22nd it was told before the COVID or after the COVID, whatever it is, but how much perfect it is, for that also instrument is there available. So you name anything, some IoT devices is there, some kind of system market is there coming up. So such kind of hand washing fact checkers, many things can be seen. Or even warning app, Corona Warn app, which is now being developed by IIT Jaipur or IIT Hyderabad or 3-4 IIT. Together they have developed that in the room or wherever they can track that where coronavirus aerosol based virus are concentrated enough, that so that can be checked through a software also. And there are many innovation taking place. If I see that India, it is also a unauthorized company, just they made an innovation hub. How many are here? More than 900 plus they have listed over here. But in our country's context, I want to see that in our country, they have listed out 97 anti all COVID-19 innovation. 97 out of that, only 16 have been recognized according to them. They do not claim that this is the more authentic, but compared to our cases, India, Korea, 48 innovation took place, 46 have been recognized. So you can see the drastic difference, that accessibility, affordability, understanding, as well as guiding, and then taking it to the public, that here is an index that should be changed. Then carbon dioxide monitoring paper says that if through this kind of IoT devices, we are able to check the carbon dioxide level, if it is going beyond twice or beyond 1,000, then COVID can spread more faster than normal one. That is why there is an indication, one paper is there which has highlighted, if it is going more than 1,000, then it says that COVID can spread more. It may be many other, because if we stay with more than double, 417 or 18 is the standard one that we are able to live with. But in Delhi, because it goes even higher also in many of the polluted city. But still, if some monitor is there telling us that, carbon dioxide monitor level with health we can make, there are many health devices are there. So if it is more than 1,000, at least it will give a warning to our mobile phone or whatever system is there, IoT devices is there. At least open the door, have some ventilation from outside. So that kind of system is going to come up. And there is a huge future is there. So the mass balance shows that measured carbon dioxide concentration of approximately 1200 ppm means that almost 2% of the air in the room has already lungs contact at least once. At this level, 50th breath, every 50th breath, 15 to 200, that a person takes in this room consists of air that has already been exhaled. It is a simple math. It is just only, there is nothing to be verified over here. So if every 1200 ppm means that 2% of the air in the room has already got lungs contact. So that way we can see. But there is another publication which is really interesting, is that if this crab is placed in under 400 ppm, and if it is kept under 7 times of ppm, and then seeing the scale, we can easily understand that it has increased its size. So you can see that there are a lot of counter claim are there about the climate change and its effect on greenhouse gas, but that is a different area. But these are all the series of course, I want to finish within 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Carbon dioxide monitoring, and then what are the panic button, what are the specification. It will become yellow, it become red, it will give warning, it will sense that if it is more than 1,000, it will give a panic button, and it will give a bell, or it will connect to our mobile devices. So these days, these are very much common. But what once I have noted that rain viewer, we have not yet perfected with our IMD devices to bring our rain viewer into our mobile phone. But people expect, it is not that okay, it is good that we have made a phenomenal progress in allowing or declaring that landfall is going to happen after 5 hours or 6 hours in the eastern coast. Maybe last time that yes, that happened, but we have not got anything such device that it will tell us in our mobile phone that yes, when you are going, you see what it is telling that heavy rains in 23 minutes, heavy rains in 23 minutes from house and from the office room, or even rain 9.5 kilometer away from the work, from my workplace. So such kind of weathering through rainweather apps, you can see it is made possible, but we do not have, because we have not given any thought on the kind of data that we are taking every day. Like 6,000 rain gauges are there in Karnataka, but we have to make those data really analyzed and put them, at least for the state of Karnataka, made an app that which have to be made available in the smartphone user everywhere in the globe. At least it will tell, taking, analyzing those 6,000 data, which is fairly good enough. We don't need these days, no rain stations are being used these days. It is all through satellite, it is being all collected. So our education institutes, especially in our civil engineering domain, we have to look beyond. Not that a Dr. J.D. Cooper have imagined in 1868 that how earthquake early warning has to be, but we have to also see that these are also our area, because we are civil engineering domain mostly, and we can make this facility available for wherever dense network is there, rather than seeing that what is the AccuWeather is giving or other weather map is giving. Unfortunately, we have not perfected our things to this manner, which needs only one kind of calculation, or this data and software has to make these things. So, in fact, we are still not giving such kind of important location-based, or even showing such kind of how much rainfall that it is going to happen. We have not yet made our weather forecasting in the country. It doesn't need how many rainfall weather or something. It needs only some kind of interpolation, extrapolation, and model is same. Only we have to make that data serving the purpose where Google Map is available and accessible to anyone, everyone. Having country more than 30 crore of mobile sets, that smartphone that we are having. So, but at the same time, it is not that only the rain is going to come or the cyclone is going to come. People have made even that in that area, what will be if it is raining in a particular area, that where I am, if it is raining for 50 minutes, then what will be the inundation depth in my area? So in that case, if we are depending on Google Earth data, or we are still depending on satellite data, oh, data is not available. No, we can perfect our Google Earth data also using our mobile phone, each and every mobile phone, taking georeferencing of this information in a particular area or locality, knowing that which are the area, if it rains for more than 15 minutes, gets inundated, that we know wherever we are living. So we can make such kind of database and make it available through our mobile network, information network, that what is the rainfall depth rather than when it is going to come. So it is another level of reaching to the community to tell them, so that they can take some of the appropriate measures, cleaning the drain and other things. Giving information is one part, but cleaning the drain, siltation, desiltation, storm water, making some alternate arrangement like barriers and other things, those are to be community updated information that or action to be taken. So like this, I would like to some of the application of the City Walk shopping mall in Delhi, which is just hardly 7 kilometers away from here, where they have installed, and it is a very big, every day gathering is more than 25,000 or something like that. So they have installed it happily. These are all controlled by these gateway services. And then in Chennai also, I saw this kind of things, that panic buttons are being used in ambulance, police, and other things for experimental phase. And then you can get the feedback also, which can be connected to such kind of feedback form. So there are so many, anything you name, there will be some devices, some IoT devices. Only they are to be connected through wireless system, which has got a bandwidth of 853 to 857 megahertz. In that bandwidth, that they collect all this information wirelessly. And each of these devices, they do not need wire connection or anything. They are self-supporting with some battery devices whose life is more than 4 or 5 years. So that is the kind of things that I wanted to share, but I have a lot of other things to show, that how things, infrastructural application, how futuristic building that we are looking at, that whenever earthquake will occur, it will float using MagLab kind of system, heavy magnet, something like this. These are the futuristic, or whatever, recreating earthquake in large lab we do. Like these are the last 7-8 story building, or making early warning system. This train is a live example in Japan in 2004, 23rd October, that they have stopped this train when mid-Niigata earthquake occurred by using the early warning system. So I would say that in many places now these devices are being used, building earthquake early warning system, and then breeze real-time system. Then MyShake, you will get a mobile app here developed by California, University of California, Berkeley lab. You can see MyShake, you can install it, you can also see that how they are making. And then which earthquake that they can. Phones can catch earthquake above this. And but high quality seismic station, which cost 10 lakh, 15 lakh, 20 lakh, even sometimes crores, multi-parametric geophysical observatory, more than a crore they require. We have in the Northeast. Continuously they are supplying multi-parametric, not only seismic data, but radon emission or gravimetric change, many things are happening. So all those things are there. They can give, of course, they can give more this accuracy. They can be, but mobile has got certain kind of accuracy that which we can take it up, where some data is published over here. And not only that, using big data and using cloud sources, we can take information from earthquake source somewhere from here, then we can send it somewhere here. They do the first calculation, they can disseminate it somewhere here. So here the basic knowledge of civil engineering is not required. We have to go into multidisciplinary way using big data or chain and all these things. Then we can disseminate this information within few seconds. Unfortunately, we do not get earthquake early warning information in our country because it takes a lot of time in collecting data and also calculations and everything. But some of the country like Japan, Mexico, Chile, or Taiwan, they have adopted these things. So, but there are earthquake detectors are available in the market. You can see in the Google and how they are being used in many places. They will detect it, and then how they can be used here itself through that. But how, in fact, seismicity thinking started in our earthquake is about this thing in 132 AD till 1960s. We never knew that new things are going to come up. It was a revolution bringing digital seismograph. It is an analog way of understanding. So, and then we have got into these basics. Then in 1893, we have made that pendulum, and then we have got into this. Then we have brought into this. That is why within 2 to 3 seconds, we are able to calculate the earthquake and its location after it occurs. By the time it might have moved 10-15 kilometers away. Rather than prediction, but how scientists and data structure and computer calculation, sensors, and with this kind of digitization that we have gone into this much of perfection, stopping train or other facility. How to communicate during disaster and how mobile can have in the help in the community That is that example. So these are the things that I wanted to show. Of course, due to time limit, I wanted to say that even early warning for disaster, and how today is the 12th June. You see the jumbo seismic monitor 24/7, that how it is through IRIS, Washington University, and consortium of more than 700 organizations, that how they are working to keep this 24/7 data or information in the website free of cost. So now let me say that there are how these things happens in geotechnical engineering, geotechnical engineering. We understand the same earthquake, but how it changes its shape, nature, amplitude, frequency, and everything whenever it comes to this. I think tomorrow you may get something more information about this. And what are the early warning system that we expect that from here earthquake occurs, then if it is 7.8 earthquake within 3 seconds, if you want to know that at your place where it is reaching, it will give in our mobile phone like this, that after 28 seconds, 6 intensity earthquake shaking you are going to face at your location. When your mobile is having this information will come in that network, because we have got GPS, we have got Bluetooth, and we have got acceleration sensor, we have got magnetic sensor, we have got compass, and everything is there in this mobile itself. So they are going to revolutionize our way of not only thinking but way of living in the near future. I think I should end over here. Thank you very much. I have taken a little extra time. Other aspect I'm not going into, because this is a prediction aspect and mobile aspect, how we are going to train the behavior of this thing using IoT devices, because we are too much towards prediction, but how these people, how this organism or this kind of things reacting, we cannot read their mind. But IoT, putting some kind of devices in this animal, in this behavior, how they have their extrasensory organ, which we do not have, what are the decibel level that they can make, IoT device can bring a revolution in such kind of tracking of these things. So anyway, like this way, even mobile phone where we are, or whenever the cloudburst has occurred and everything, through Facebook or through communication like through Geophone or through Airtel, wherever they are, we are all connected through them. So organizing those data, putting them, then reaction taking place, then you can see that how even in case of earthquake or any other thing, if it is urban flood has occurred, how those information can be trained and customized and bring some reliable information out of that. So anyway, I say that this is enough. And of course, I wanted to show early warning system, that landslide early warning system, IIT Mandi. Due to shortage, I'm not showing, but they might have shown you, which you can check. And one thing is, just I want to say that the resilience, this one, we understand that because of the lateral spreading, this has slowed down. So what are the futuristic name? It is not go to the future, lesson learning and how this is being put up here.
Yeah, Professor Chandan, would you like to take some questions? Yeah.
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 Thank you.
Okay. Well, as you, Professor Shilpa, you can.
Yes, sir. Okay. Sir, it was very informative session. You have highlighted the IoT devices applications and the recent IoT innovations for COVID, exclusively like clear mask and smart carbon dioxide monitor, which were very helpful to manage this pandemic situations. So thank you very much for that wonderful session, sir. So before we take QA sessions, I would like to inform the participants that the feedback link is posted in the YouTube chat box. So kindly give your valuable feedback. So now I request the panelists, Dr. S.K. Prasad and Umesh PK, to take over the question and answer sessions.
Yeah,
Over
thank
to
you.
you,
Dr.
sir.
Thank
Shilpa.
you.
Thank you very much. Professor Chandan, as usual, you are lucid. I tell you, I have always been your fan. And, I always say, anything you say, you have innovation, you give a natural touch. So your earlier discussions, on vetiver grass, how it is helpful in slope stability and how you have implemented, they were marvelous also. And also always I admire somebody able to get two doctorates from two of the toughest universities makes you're somebody who takes challenge. Lots of appreciations for you. Just thought I will share a couple of them. Yeah, one from Professor Raviraj. Okay, thanks to Professor Chandan Ghosh for the thought-provoking presentation showcasing the importance of use of IoT for the fraternity of civil engineering. Presentation was very lucid. And there is also one from Mr. Susanta Datta. Presentation by Professor Chandan Ghosh always brings some new ideas and innovations. It's a useful presentation. So there have been many like this, but I would like you to answer a few of the questions. And maybe before that, quickly, Professor Umesh, would you like to say something?
Yes, sir. I think Professor Chandan Ghosh has explained very nicely what are the IoT devices required for the future, and it's very informative and a very nice session given by him. It is a proactive session for civil engineers, especially. It's very nice, and also you know that one there are artificial intelligence, machine learning, IoT, and smart phones, and also wireless devices and early warning systems. All these things are very, very important. We will be using those things in civil engineering applications, and you are making use of the electronics devices and all things. And thank you very much, sir. It is very informative session. And once again, I will leave to S.K. Prasad.
Thank you, Professor Umesh. Professor Chandan, you had many questions during registration only. Okay. And you also have many questions. I do not know how much you can answer because we are already, going behind time. But I'll try to quickly give you a few questions to answer. This is from Reza Rafat, Mr. Reza Rafat. What model of governance would you suggest to be more effective in handling disaster resilience?
Governance is.
Of course, it's
governance is there, but so far somehow we have been tuned in our mind. If anything happens in my courtyard, or if fire ravages my colony or my room or something, we expect that let the government come, or let fire wala come, let police wala come, or even if in our community some two people are fighting, let us call police. As long as we keep that kind of things that government will take care of, probably we are not becoming wiser enough. Or so that is why whenever disaster happens, it is, you see, government is there. Government has made certain system or category, and also capacity building, awareness, various structure, revenue department, police department, first responder, like that. The way COVID has been going on, I think with the COVID now, you know that how governance has been put to questions and questions and questions and query. But ultimately, we have seen that while undergoing this COVID situation, other thing, we at our individual level, through social media, through interaction, we have come to know that individually we have to know, we have to learn enough or wiser enough to take measures that which I can do at my own level.
I understand your message. I really, you are very, very right. We should not only be talking about, government or others. If I know that I can take care. A lot of things can. So every one of us will be responsible for disaster management or disaster resilience. All right. Also, a question from Dr. Gomati Nayagam. A decade ago, sensor access and manufacturing has not been happening. Even strain gauge needs to be imported. What is the current state of IoT component manufacturing in India?
Okay. That is, of course, I do not have any database on there, but COVID has shown us that how dependent we are, even making masks.
Yes, sir.
Even making masks for our own country. So, but that has given a COVID initiated innovation in the mask itself that we have made. Of course, not the transparent one I have shown, but somebody may be imagining in that direction also. But especially strain gauge and other things, in order to have even a strain gauge, there are Cardioide and number of companies are there. But what happened that this company do not have, or somehow academic institute, company, research institute, and applicants, there is no such integration. Until and unless we do this integration, then it will not happen. We'll be buying. If I take an example for you, like C.V. Raman, he is our first Nobel laureate in science. You know, C.V. Raman is our Nobel laureate in physics.
Correct.
And he got the Nobel Prize on Raman spectroscopy. So we are proud of that. But you know that spectroscopy is being bought by our IITs worth more than crore from outside. Not a single company is there. What a shame. Similarly,
Yeah.
many of our geotechnical instrument also, you see, we have bought triaxial machine,
Correct.
30 lakh from Indian company. But we have got same machine, same setup, more than 1 crore from outside. And difference we understand. So until and unless we start right now, probably COVID has given that platform, not only in IT, IoT, or all those software, big data, calculation, quantum computing, but also manufacturing area also. With Industry 4, we have to revolutionize in this area with the 6.5 lakh, something like that, I may be wrong, MSME, who are the backbone of our economy and GDP. So they have taken one of the recent thing that Principal Scientific Advisors Office, they have made a expression of interest for the Indian companies that they want to give 50, means they say that please apply for producing oxygen concentrator as well as whatever medical oxygen. More than 40 such expression of interest came. Within a week, committee decided to award the things. So at least they started manufacturing. So this kind of effort that COVID has given, or that now our education institution and then funding institution and then venture capitalist kind of things that we knew not since 1980. So IIT Bombay, IIT Delhi, the way that they are doing innovating every day, I think situation is going to change very soon.
Okay, thank you.
The better.
Again, I appreciate your other message also. There is a gap between what we are doing in terms of research and implementation. Okay, and then from Pallavi, Yen, question is, what about the accuracy and calibration of IoT?
Accuracy and calibration of IoT depends on what we expect in taking some decision. When it is in case of earthquake, which I have demonstrated, it has to be decided within 2-3 seconds, not in 2-3 minutes. Because by 1 minute, it has gone 300 kilometers. So the accuracy depends on where we are going to apply. When I showed that one of the IoT device, it is measuring carbon dioxide in my room or in a classroom, then we have to see that it has to, what is the threshold measure we are looking into. if it is more than 1000 ppm, or if that error range is hardly 0.1 or 0.2, 1000 ppm, even if it is 10 plus minus, it doesn't matter. But accuracy of the machine itself less than 0.1.
Okay.
So it
Anyway,
depends on which application we are making. But as far as these applications are concerned, machines that they are making, they are highly accurate, and we have many way to, like, you when you can check also temperature, it is checking. So you can check. We can check everything, and based on calibration only these devices are being made. They will not give any false amount. They will not give anything false data. Like we know these days, if you use blood sugar by strip, which costs 10 rupee, 500 rupees the machine, small machine blood sugar, which you can get within 4 seconds. And if you go for blood sugar through take the 10 mm blood and go for that, it takes maybe 2-3 hours, 4 hours. Hardly there is any difference. Hardly there is any difference. So that kind of accuracy, when it has come to our smartphone or smart mobile, and you see that you can check that whatever mobile phone has got some already installed app of, say, step checker. Like this mobile I have, very small mobile, Oppo mobile, it has got step checker. So step checker is almost accurate. So that kind of things, that accuracy, of course, manufacturers, they take care of, depending on the application.
Okay. A lot of questions are pouring in one after the other. There is also one appreciation from Suhas Kashyap of USA. The session was extremely informative. Let me go back. Extremely informative. Many innovative ideas were discussed. I really admire your way of presentation. Thank you, Professor. Okay, let me quickly take a few questions. Again, I do not know how much time Professor Shilpa will permit. So this is a question from Gomati Nayagam.
No problem.
Dr. Gomati Nayagam. AIR has to happen. Academia has knowledge. Industry knows business. Research has to interface this. Okay. Whatever you said, he has tried to convey. And from Shibani Jha, Professor Chandan, can you tell us some exemplary advancements with IoTs in water resource disaster resilience?
Water resource disaster resilience.
Yeah.
I think this wording probably from is water resource disaster resilience. Somehow the wording are not well arranged from the disaster point of view, not from civil engineering point of view. But
and then you also spoke.
I can digitize them, each and every word, because each and every word has got some very, very nice meaning. One part is water resource. Now, water resource, in fact, whatever we are having, current water resource. Yesterday we had a grand discussions on this, Professor Sitaram, that how much water is going out, and so, but water resource that which we are not able to store, or we are not giving importance. Like in my discussion also, I mentioned just very quickly that when south part of the Karnataka is having 2,500 millimeter rainfall, north part is that not having a distance is hardly 300 kilometers something. So water surplus things can be taken by a pipeline system, by a pumping system, by whatever water structure is there. So water resource, and yesterday also there was a question that river linking should not be encouraged or something like that. It is not linking river, it is not disturbing flora fauna. It is only extra water which is there. It is not also linking one basin with another basin. It is not like that. Wherever water is extra, meeting the sea, going there, mixing with the things. So that source we have to contain. Now container, there are many forms. In the plain area, we cannot make dam. In the plain area, now come up is the flexible storage using pond, using geomembrane, And then geomembrane as a flexible, we can put even 10 lakh liter, 20 lakh liter in one of the membrane or balloon. So water resource that we are losing to the sea, and water resource that we are not able to send to the water scarcity area, there now civil engineering has got a very emphatic role by taking this extra water by a pipeline which can be connected in few days of time, because these pipelines are not concrete pipeline, they are geomembrane pipeline, geosynthetics geomembrane pipeline, which can be just connected, lay it and get connected. There are a number of companies are there. So first thing is water resource that we are having is a plenty. As you know, our average rainfall is 1000 millimeter. But while going in the micro level, even in Delhi, most of the water we get through Yamuna river, and we have always some problem with neighboring states. But whatever Delhi gets around 700 mm, we do not store them. So rainwater harvesting. Rainwater harvesting is again another area. There we spend more than 7 lakh to 10 lakh for a average maybe 100 square meter area. With geomembrane, this cost come down to less than 20,000 rupee. So resilience part of water resource, which traditionally where some people made business in making a big tank inside, which cost more than 5, 6, 7 lakh. Now geomembrane has brought that resilience and revolution. Instead of making hard tank, it is not a pressurized thing. It is simply an water to store them. Syntex water tank available 3,000 rupees per 1,000 liter. So we can use even membrane. If you use, it comes down to 500 rupees.
Okay.
So in that way, we have to bring such kind of changes in bringing resilience in the society rather than river linking and many other things that which we are thinking of. So we have to see at the micro level.
Yeah. Anyway, I have already been getting comments that we have exceeded time. So what
Yes,
I'll
sir.
do is, I'll just allow for one more question. Anyway, SKR has a question which is very similar to the previous one. See, what is the accuracy of IoT with respect to accurate weather forecasting, and why still, governments are not able to update properly? Anyway, you have answered some of that. I'll just go to the last question. Yeah. I'll just
Government is at least Karnataka can do 6,000 weather stations are there. Even every household can keep weather station, at least water. It doesn't not a kotora, but just one kind of cylinder, one kind of. So community can keep 6,000 automatic weather station. Karnataka is having 7,000 plus. Maharashtra is having. Instead of that, just simply every school and household we can keep a graduated cylinder in our rooftop and take a photograph and send it through a mobile, a group. Then he can calculate that what is the water there. So that then along with that, there are some multiple devices are there. In fact, IIT Mandi has developed. They can measure 12, 13 parameter together: temperature, then accelerometer, then what earthquake, and then inclinometer. Everything combined there. And also now these days this weather related, weather temperature, humidity, and everything is being calculated. Small devices. I just quickly showed that slide. And when we integrate them, we can make our local weather forecasting in our area also with no expenditure, no need of spending 10 lakh, 20 lakh, 30 lakh rupees.
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
Actually,
sir.
there were many questions before also. Okay, now also I will just go for only one last question if Dr. Shilpa permits. Okay, because it is Sunday, you said, and then I'm going to stop. As you rightly said earlier, I will give those questions to you later, and then you can answer and let us post them.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
It's better,
This
sir.
is one last question. Okay, this is from Sampruth Prabhakaran. What are the research and startup possibilities for a civil engineer to develop structures which use IoT and other smart technologies apart from sensors, and how to gain knowledge in it. Maybe I thought, from research point of view, this may be useful to everybody. So I
Very,
repeat
very.
the question. I just repeat that question. What are the research? It's already come there. What are the research and startup possibilities for a civil engineer to develop structures which use IoT and other smart technologies apart from sensors, and how to gain knowledge in it? So please do answer this question, and after that, I'll hand over
Yeah.
the session to Professor Shilpa. But you, as usual, you are excellent, very lucid, and the kind of questions you are getting shows how popular you are all over the country. Continue all your good practices, please.
Okay, okay. Yeah, this one, in fact, every day we are discussing about the windows of opportunities are coming up on various area of not only IoT but in civil engineering and social engineering, in bioengineering, biomass, waste to energy, and then solar battery storage battery like 1 megawatt power solar battery is now coming into the market by India itself. And also the kind of solar panel they have come now into some kind of leaf they make multiple, and wind generation, how they are made into means perfections these days. So in fact it is a ample opportunities there, and startup has got a big shock in other countries, but startup has got a big jump in our country. Only thing is that we have to make our young minds uh, that please don't think of something that you will do big, but start a small one. And in fact, one of the things that some startup companies, they start with small thing, they make business out of that, then they forget, they take out the things from the website and everything. So they need to be connect with the research institute. Without research, without research and re-research, nothing we can go forward. Like the kind of 3M company started in 1902. They started with making sandpaper. If you go through their history, everything is available in the internet. But they could not make hornblende mining. They failed, but they made some kind of abrasive cotton in 1914 when World War One started. That gave them a big boost in income. So this is the opportunity that COVID has given, I would say. And so together, yes, we have ocean. It is a lots of areas that we can work, and it is not that there are many. We have to only make. There are a lot of funds government of India is giving. Unnat Bharat or they are adopting a village. There are lots of funds available. Even government has created now 50,000 crore corpus fund, just National Science Foundation kind of things that we have in Canada or USA for DST. So there are ample fund in our country, DST kind of organization, they are not able to spend the money because people are not applying for the projects. This is a very sorry state, but now is the time to join with research organization, apply combined project, 3, 4 institutes, 5 institutes together, and then apply here once, twice, thrice, now bilateral, multilateral, many such projects along with the industry partner, along with the application partner, research partner. I think a lot of things are open up. Please go through the My Government and all the relevant government website where lots of tenders, expression of interest, even oxygen making, oxygen concentrator. It is all open tender and expression of interest. And you have seen recently that DRDO, that 2G medicine, the 2G medicine, the drug that they have developed, is now expression of interest to 50 company. They are going to give it. So the mass production is there. Where did we see such kind of surge of activities that now we are seeing? So let us take this as an inspiration towards our future.
Thank
Okay,
you.
sir.
Thank you. Yeah, one more
Thank
just
you.
appreciation. Ramesh N has said, wonderful session. Dr.
Yes,
Balaji
sir.
has said, if we follow Dr. Chandan Ghosh's Facebook, he has a lot of information. So with that, I hand over to Professor Shilpa.
Thank you for that wonderful interaction. So now it's time to close the today's session. So I request Mr. Arjun B, Assistant Professor, Department of Civil Engineering, VVCE, to propose the vote of thanks. Arjun, over to you, sir.
Thank you, madam. Good evening, everyone. As we have come to the end of fourth lecture of our online training program on futuristic research in disaster resilience, it's my privilege to propose the vote of thanks. On behalf of Department of Civil Engineering, Vidyavardhaka College of Engineering, Mysuru, and National Institute of Disaster Management, Ministry of Home Affairs, Dr. Chandan Ghosh, Professor, NIDM, for sharing his knowledge and experience in disaster management thing. Thank you, sir. Further, I wish to thank all the participants for your active participation in the session. I also wish to convey sincere thanks to technical team, faculty, and staff of Department of Civil Engineering, VVCE, and NIDM. Finally, thanks to all the concerned, and we look forward to seeing you all in the next session. Thank you. Over to you, man.
So this is where my official role is over, but from NIDM side, I want to convey that all thanks and regards to your team for having such a wonderful conduction of the session and interactions and everyone. On behalf of NIDM and our entire team.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
So our gratitude to you for bringing such a nice and wonderful and really thought-provoking and really resilient, rather.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So nice of you. I feel very honored and humbled. Thank you for encouraging us, and you have been doing a lot of good things. Please do continue those. And we wish you come.
We are all in a team. We are all working.
Yeah, we wish you come to our institution and guide us. It will be a great pleasure to have you. Okay. Professor Shilpa, please.
So we once again request all the participants to give your valuable feedback using the link posted in the chat box. So dear participants, kindly join us tomorrow for the last day session at 3:30 p.m. So we will have 3 eminent speakers for tomorrow's session. Dr. CVR Murthy from IIT Madras, Dr. Mahendra Singh from IIT Roorkee, and Dr. Babu Narayan from NITK Surathkal. So who will be joining us tomorrow for the last day sessions. So the joining links are provided in the description for your kind information. So I request all the participants to kindly join us for tomorrow's session. So with this,
please mention that tomorrow we are meeting at 3:30.
Yes, sir. I have mentioned that. So tomorrow the session will start at 3:30. So we have first session 3:30 to 5, and then second session 5 to 6:30, and the last session is from 6:30 to 8. Okay. So with this, with the permission of all the dignitaries and the participants, I would like to end this session. So wish you all good night. Stay home, stay safe. Thank you, one and all.
Okay. See you tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Good.